Hello, Satan child. How about you go potty? Anybody else? How did you get in here and steal? Come on. Come on. Go out there and get it. Oh. Yeah, right. Just the buns. That's just Clara learning how to handle her life. Go potty. So I guess now we're at least even on this whole wigsy thing. She's eating 2 of them. Oh my gosh. Go potty. Where are you? Up. So welcome YouTubers. What you guys are witnessing now is a duct tape set of mats because these little demons spawn decided they were going to chew the mats. Whoa. So we flipped them around. We put the chewed side on the under the kennel side, and I put the non-chewed side up at the top. I taped down here both sides. You're right down. Come on, what? Oh. I taped down both sides so that there's actually like a whole lip that's duct tape, and the side closest to the potty pads is actually also taped down to the linoleum. We'll see how long that lasts. I might wake up in the middle of the night with them just covered in.
Right there.
Is that a puppy? Yeah. Is it a puppy, Bubba?
Maybe.
Can't tell. I can't even see your face because you're moving so much.
Yeah, that's why I can't see.
Come here. Hi. Well, I can't tell if you have a puppy, Bubba. Like little Eden. Where did you say? I can't even. Stop, bud.
Right there.
Come here. Like really right there as I hold his whole face. Come here. We're back.
You're gonna have to figure that one out.
That would be weird, yeah. I'll have to check him later when he's like asleep or something. Oh.
Right.
And I caught you.
What?
I almost dropped him.
Oh.
Where's the duct tape? Give me that duct tape. I'm gonna see if this works, because. Hey, how'd you get that? Clara, get out. Get out. Now, Clara, scooch. Take. Oh, now it's gone. Go find it. She took one, and then she put 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Yeah, okay, so that was the one she had. Go get it. She took one of those wigsies, but she brought it back in here.
Fever spawn.
I don't know. You're gonna have to. I'm gonna have to get it out from under the thing for you. Hi, ma'am.
She's like that. Room moved.
Yep, it did. She's like, what? Good. Figured it out.
That's a good boy, good Jared.
For anybody's like, what are you doing?
Aha!
It's probably not gonna work, but.
Nah.
Hellcat, scooch. You're a little tushy, ma'am.
Littles. Wait, that's not a little. That's a bogey. And that's the biggest of buns.
You can't have the duct tape.
It's like,
Get off the nails, Satanis. Demons! I don't know how I summoned you. I didn't know your names. How did I summon you? You need names to summon things. I definitely didn't know what your names were. How did this happen? Hatch is like, it just did. You started calling us by our names, and now we're here. PT Boat Gremlins. This is why you're gremlins. This is why you're my little gremlins. Are you gremlins? Are you a gremlin? You're a little gremlin. Scooch it, freak. Don't nip me. Your mama's gonna come in here and whoop your butt. She is. She's totally gonna whoop your butt. She doesn't like it when you do that, and you know it. She's gonna get you. Look it. That's mom. What did mom say? She says, "Oh snap." All right. Well. Hi, you. Thanks, Satan child. No, we don't eat our brother's collar. Go play. Go play. Go on. That's how you guys lose your collars. Literally how it happens. Watch it all before my eyes. Where you going, Warbun? I don't know if this will actually work, but
what?
said, I don't know if this will actually work, but whatever. Find out. And this isn't supposed to be YouTubers like a crazy permanent solution. It's just to be something to keep them from just like running and pulling it up. They could still easily pull this up. The deal is that like I'm trying to do something that like if they don't run and pull it up, then they won't play with it as much because they really only play with stuff when like they when they pull the whole thing up. So they'll still probably mess with this, but bite a little bit at a time. Alright. I'll give you guys toys in a second. I've got to un-Instagram us. Alright, Instagram, if you're still interested in watching these crazy little puppy buns that have now been removed from this space, you can go to YouTube and you can see the puppy buns. Because we always have a live stream up at least once a day. Get down and drop it, leave it, go. Leave the wigsy. This is what I was doing. They now have one ginormous mat instead of 4 little mats. And then you guys haven't really seen them in a while. They have 2 large kennels now. And then we have a whole top row of 4 kennels, and then we have 4 bottom kennels. They also got a hammock bed. We have a swing that they get from time to time, all the other equipment, and they have a food cart because it is that time. They get little wigsies. So that's what they had for dinner right before we turned you guys on. They're getting the wigsy stuffed, and then those go in their crates so that they can have those. Huh, guys? Do you like your bed? Do you like your bed? Are you gonna say hi? Oh, thank you. That's a good job. Good job, buddy. Yes. Is that a good warband? Yes. Hi, Boogie. Hello. Do you want to say hi too? Does anyone want to say hi? Hi. And then we have these crazy beasts. They're all tired now. So yeah, I don't know if you guys are still on Sammy, the GSD, but you guys can definitely watch this. This is now the pen progress. You guys can also, it's public on YouTube, so you guys can go check it out even if you don't want to follow us. They've got their potty area. They're using their potty again like 90% of the time. We had to upgrade the roll bars. Yesterday, we had our baby roll bars on and I woke up to Hellcat in my bedroom. So we had to go to Lowe's and I upgraded the roll bars so they're bigger now, but we still had it maybe 2 inches lower than this, maybe 3 inches lower than this. And we had to change that out and I raised them today after work because Hellcat got out this morning before work and I thought it was just because, I don't know if you guys can tell or you watch this later, these roll bars are zip tied to the gates because otherwise they push off and you could like stick your fingers or whatever under it and the boys couldn't fit with how big the rope was, but Hellcat could have totally fit. And so I thought that's how she got out, so this morning before work I zip tied it down. But then when I was at work, Emily said she got out and she was doing some stuff in the kitchen and all of a sudden Hellcat was behind her. So we knew it was this one she was getting out on, not the other one. So I thought it was just a zip tie thing. But this afternoon when I came home, I raised them up maybe, I don't know, yeah, I want to say like 3+ inches or so this afternoon. Okay, cool, yeah. So they started all their crate training and stuff like that. We started that a while ago, but now they're actually getting 1 to 3 meals a day in their crates. And we have the big crates in here so that the bottom one they can all sleep in all the time and they go on the climb to get into it. And that door stays opened no matter what. And then the top one I've got to clean it off, but the top one is so I can feed 2 of them in here at the same time now that they're getting bigger. And then these 4 they eat individually, so that gives us 4, 5, 6. Technically I can do 7, 8 in the bottom. Or what we started doing 3 days ago is one puppy, the first one to mand, that's not one we've already done it with, goes in a different room in the house to experience something different. So like Hellcat went into the laundry room, so the dryer and the washer were running. Stratus went in the bathroom and ate in the tub so we could sanitize it, and they had the force dryer running. And so we've done that with a couple different ones. And then this is, I don't know if this will end up working, but we have these 4 rubber mats down because their potty area now is those bins, and they don't really need the potty pads, but I have them kind of just in case. But they haven't really been using them as much. They're getting probably 80% of their potties in their litter boxes, and maybe like, I don't know, 15% of their potties, is that the right amount of math? Yeah, about 15% of their potties in the mat right here, and then they're obviously missing some because that's a long way to travel for such small buns. So they're getting, some of them may have accidents. And we had potty pads under the seams, but this morning or last night they started chewing the corners of these when they flip these up. So it won't last very long, but I just double-sided duct tape on these to hold them down, because when they kick them up, then they are like, ooh, look, mats. So that's why you guys were watching them in the kitchen, because I duct taped all the sides, and then I duct taped a seam here to about right here. So, yeah, never mind, right there. So it's a couple inches off of it, so technically they can't potty under it anymore, so even if they have an accident, we can clean it up off this mat. But then we have the bins, and then I'm gonna add, I think, 2 more bins. We're gonna turn them long ways now that they're using them a lot more reliably, and then we bump this, so their toys and the pellets and stuff are behind this, but that also means that I'm going to, this weekend probably, move all 4 of those towers, the puppy condos as we call them, against that wall where the fireplace is, and move Clara's kennel, and then we'll probably leave the big kennels where they are, but we'll also start to bump this back to give them more space. So they have this one panel left that they haven't been given, so we'll figure out how we're going to give them that panel. But that's the pen. That's what's up. We're totally like ghetto styled right now. They have the tarp that I put over the pen at different times a day, doing it a little bit differently, so that they get that. And yeah, so that's what's up with the puppy pen. So I hope that's kind of a good puppy pen update. And we have stuff on top of the puppy pen because I have to be able to like reach everything. But yeah, so that's what's up with all the bunnos. And thank God they stopped screaming. So yeah,
back in the pen.
now I just have to throw down their toys. I have to clean 1 or 2 more crates and give them new bedding. But yeah, they're good little buns. Huh, you guys good little buns? Oh, we're so tired now. Yeah, I know. Yeah, well anyway, so if you guys want to watch the buns, our YouTube channel is live too, so you guys can check that out. It's up right now, and we turn that on, I try and turn it on for a minimum of like 3 hours every day. Usually I start in the evening. On the weekends, it's literally on like all day from like at least 1 or 2 usually, all the way till like 1 or 2 in the morning. And then, yeah, so we do that.
Sleep.
Right. But I usually turn it on, not necessarily always when I get up, but like I turn it on pretty early, just to make sure, you know, that it's there for people to watch. You just have to hear us ramble about random stuff. And then sometimes we'll turn it off, like, was it yesterday we turned it off for a little while because we had some people over and they have small humans. And so I don't like to put other people on YouTube. It's one thing for me to be obnoxious on the internet. It's another thing for me to subjugate other people's like families to being obnoxious on the internet. So anyway, but that's usually like on the weekend. We'll just turn it off if whoever's here doesn't want to be on YouTube. So you guys have fun, and we'll talk to you later. And check them out on the YouTube. Bye, guys. Hi, YouTube. What's up? The calm before the storm.
Don't even.
Alright. Let's see here. No, Mama, it's not yours. It's their Moosey. No, it's their Moosey. You love the Moosey? She's like, I love the Moosey. The Moosey. Here. The Moosey.
This is short. She was like, this is not what I ordered. I'm about to just duct tape the whole thing down. Just be like, forget it. I want to give them, we're going to give them the bun. This is literally called a bun. This is a bun husky. Zippy Paws makes buns. If they made a bun Tamaskan, I'd be like, I need 1 million of them. But they're so cute. That's a bun. What else can you guys have?
Can you get a trash bag?
Yeah, hold on. I'm trying to balance. Why are you this way, dog? Actually, I can't help it. Oh, look, you guys can have this. Here you go. You want a trash bag?
Yeah. Come over yonder.
Oh, where's that? Is there not one now? Oh, okay. Shit. I don't have any trash bags. Oh, look, right there. Oh, smells like it. Hello.
Trash bucket.
Oh, is that what we're doing now?
This is what I watch. Open my trash bag.
Uno momento.
I need this because I'm like, get away from the puppies!
That's real life. I'm like, anything that's away from the puppies, like, cool, but these are from the litter, so like, I don't have any poop on them or anything, but like, I don't care if they get dirty. They're poop trays. So that's what I use them for. That's why I leave it here. Then we can just chuck stuff. Then if the food's spilled, I also don't care. Let's see. You guys can have this donut.
Mason will leave this here so that
You guys
when
can
we have
all the
food.
toys. Yeah, that's what I usually leave a bag there until it gets like grimy and or like at night I'll be like, this is all the food, let's take it out.
Yeah.
Laura's like, I am waiting for all these wigsies.
You may not have all of them.
She's like, I've had 2, I'm gonna have them all.
No, you're not.
She thinks she is.
Well, she thinks
She might have gotten like quite a chunk of them, to be quite honest. Did you really? How did you pull that off?
Pull what off?
I had 3. Oh, there we go. I was like, I had 6.
How'd you get 3 more?
Right, I was like, how? In God's name, did she bring all these things? Oh, you guys can have this. Oh, no, it's not over.
You want all these?
Yes, that's why I let them all go in there. The rubber ones can go in the sink and I'll clean those, but that's why I figured they could have all the toys they've been having, and then I just give them all fresh toys.
Yeah.
Cause, messy little bunnies.
This can go in the.
Yes, it can. That is a fluffing top. It can do all of it. All
Someone peed on the wobble.
we can sanitize that thing.
Just wanna let you know that someone peed on the wobble.
Of course they did.
Hey, Clara Belly, can you eat this for me? Thank you. Thank you.
Table sacrifice.
Yeah, it is like a stray kibble from the table sacrifice that the broom missed. I felt it. Appropriate.
It's just a food one.
Regardless.
Also, too, this is totally random and I don't get paid by Chewy, but you guys should just know this. I got this bed. It was like $10. I was not gonna get that hammock bed. I'm like, they're gonna have to suffer and live with the climb.
Holy crap.
But it was like,
This dude like basically covers a quarter of the climb.
yeah, Seawolf is ginormous. Also, TMI, he's so big that he took poop and he's not 11 pounds anymore. That's how big this dog is.
It's roughly 2 ounces of poop.
Like, so much poop. Move, please. Move. There's no more wigsies. She's like, you sure though? Like, what if there's more wigsies? What if
there's wheels. There's not wheels. And these, you guys are gonna like laugh at me. I just clean them. Like, they don't always get all messy. Like, it depends on the puppy. Some of them are really clean puppies, and some of them are like hot messes. And it's not even like it's one puppy, to be fair to. It's not like we have like some puppies that are just messy puppies. Like, they have their days where like, they just be weird. There's no saving them.
Use that blue towel line over there.
Yeah. Also, completely unrelated to puppies, I have a Charlie Brown Christmas tree at work, and I'm very proud of it. It was like an almost dead tree, and like we haven't been able to save it. Like, I've been there for 6 months, and it's just, it was like practically dead before I got there, and I'm usually really good with plants. And you guys can see, I totally keep things alive. I'm like really good at taking care of them. And I don't know what the deal is with this freaking tree. And so it literally has like 3 branches, has almost like no leaves. And so I put a blue blanket around the base, and we put like a single red ornament on it, and it's like totally in our lobby. So that's our Charlie Brown Christmas tree.
You want these cookies, Mama?
Completely unrelated to
Six?
puppies, but
Ready?
pretty freaking funny.
I doubt YouTube people can see this, but literally, she opens her mouth,
So nice.
and I put it in. It's amazing. I love this.
That's not how Abby takes treats.
No! She takes my hand with it. Ready? Good girl. Ready? Good girl.
Can you get this straight kettle, please?
Huh?
Thank you. But yeah, so you guys also might see Clara might have a hard time getting in and out the kennels. Out of the pen. She's still adjusting to the fact that it's 3 or 4 more inches like higher than it was, which stinks for her. But like, there's not really much I can do about it except for just be like, sorry. We don't have any more clean fleece blankets, do we?
Negative.
Damn it.
Other than the one that's still in a roll.
Well, other than the one that I gave away. I gave somebody a Chick-fil-A my dog blanket.
Yeah, that one.
Right. Do we have any? Is this blue bed? Was this one dirty or just one clean?
All that is clean over there.
Oh yeah, it smells clean. Okay, we can have this.
I said all of that is clean. Why are you doubting?
I'm not really doubting you. I'm just like trying to decide what I'm gonna give you.
Yeah, well, you said, okay, well, this smells clean. No, it is clean.
I'll just check in.
that was down.
Also, though, these are literally. I think these are the best dog beds I've ever had in my entire life.
They're probably also one of the more expensive dog beds.
They are 100%. I would say the only other dog bed I probably spent more and or equal money on is probably a Molly Mutt bed.
Molly Mutt beds are amazing. I love them.
But I also have Molly Mutt beds that are older than Clara. So, like,
There's that.
make your life choices accordingly.
Did you just see that? She grabbed the bun and she tossed it over there.
Stop throwing things at your children.
Is this to be washed?
Yes.
How are you throwing dirty laundry at me?
Because I don't know. Seems like a good idea.
Just because I do laundry doesn't mean you
Can I
throw
have
laundry
that,
at me. What?
Because I have the clean fleece that's in the roll. I feel like we've surpassed that as a barrier challenge.
Oh, yeah, definitely.
So.
Ready?
Yeah. Yeah.
Boom.
I win.
Trash is right behind you.
I was gonna throw it at you, and then I was like,
Stop throwing things at me!
I love throwing things at Emily.
Yeah, Kelly's like, oh, just throw my phone at me from across the living room.
I throw everything, but I also catch like everything.
I can't
Emily
catch.
apparently can't do that, so.
I can't catch. I have eye-hand coordination issues. That's
I
why I
don't.
never did any sports.
I do all the sports.
Yeah, I couldn't do that.
Alright, guys.
You heathen children. Fine. having a hard time getting in and out of this pen. You know why?
Are you short?
Yes.
Sorry.
Vertically challenged.
I'm sorry. It's not like we wanted to make it taller. You could take that up with Kit Kat.
And Stratus, who has been throwing himself at the ball.
Oh my god, so this morning, because you guys are going to be like, what? So, I actually have this live privately while I'm at work, so I can call Emily and be like
she did this
hey,
morning.
you should go and save the potty pad from imminent death. And
No, man.
and that's also why we taped these. It wasn't really because we were worried about accidents. To be honest, it was completely because I was worried about them pulling more things through them. And I was like, forget it. We can't live that life anymore. And yeah, so that's what's up with that. But I called Emily and was like, you need to go save them because they're going to destroy things.
So the funny thing is, the moment they heard the gate in the back open,
they all stopped. And we're like, what's that? Auntie Emily's coming. Oh, snap. So they literally were like everywhere, all over the middle of the pen. And they just stopped moving and looked at her. And then this is really horrible of me to laugh at, but I'm not even kidding. I laughed at it for like 5 minutes. I totally laughed the whole time it was happening. Like, me and my mom both were like, oh my god, this is hilarious. Sorry. And every time Emily would come into the pen or stand up, they would mand. So she'd be like standing right here. She literally was like right here. And they would all mand around her. And she's trying to save this potty pad right here. And she'd lean over and they'd all go crazy. And she'd be like, and she'd stand up and they'd all make it.
Yes.
And she'd lean over to grab it again and they'd all like attack her.
But like I didn't realize that's what was happening because I was still half asleep.
Right. But it was really freaking funny because I'm watching it and I'm like, there's no saving her. Because like all she could maybe do is like kick the potty pad loose and then like do one of those like foot lift things or something. But like every time she leaned over, they like mauled her. But every time she stood up and her head was above her chest, they all manded.
It was
It was really funny from the outside looking in. It maybe wasn't so funny from the inside looking out.
I was barely awake, so I was like, move sharks, move sharks, move sharks.
Because I also feel bad. I had to call her this morning when I was leaving. So like before 7, I called her and was like, hey, BT Dubs, cat got out like 4 times last night. I think I might have fixed it, but you might want to make sure that you're watching them. Thanks, bye.
Yeah, I was like, yeah, cool.
So everybody that's getting a puppy should be really grateful that I'm really probably keeping that one. Because you guys can all just be like, no, we want all those boys that aren't assholes.
Well, to be fair, there's Warbun.
Well, it's a different kind of asshole.
That's true,
Stays in the kennel.
Huh?
That asshole stays in the kennel.
True. That's true.
Also, we know that these bells are really annoying, but the dogs actually love them. So, like, it's going to be a lot easier for you guys to teach, like, potty bells if you want to.
So you'll literally sit there and tug at them.
So you'll thank me later because literally you guys are going to be like, oh my god, you thought this through? They walk past them and ring them and go to the potty. Think about these things.
Glad you think about these things.
I do. Do you think about those things? She's like, no.
No, I don't have time to think about those things.
It's because I have tons of time on my hand. That's me. Tons of time.
No, like, it's like for the past, what?
Oh, also,
24 hours.
anybody that's watching this, even if you're not getting one of my puppies, even if you just like live your life and you like to do the cool things, IBCA's flash sale ends today. So like, it's a good day. I don't think it did yet, did it?
I don't know what time it is.
I want to say it's midnight Eastern, but I could be wrong. They're based in Portland though too, so like you might actually have a little bit of time. But today's the last day, so I'd assume it's through today, through all of today. But that is an assumption, so you should probably check. Right.
It doesn't
We are in the middle. Wherever the heck California is, Seattle is that way. It is maybe 2 hours behind.
I have everybody know that Emily definitely didn't point to the west.
What's
Which way they are.
got it. Don't do directions, guys.
Alright, anyway.
Time
coming back
zones
in
and
a second.
directions
Clara,
is a...
can you let Clara in?
Is she
She's
done?
at the door.
Oh, there she is. I see her. Hi, Lola.
Really? Hi, new place. You're such a jerk. Out of here. I opened everything. I closed nothing.
True. It's very true.
I'm terrified to teach her to actually do that with tugs though. I'm gonna come home and she's gonna be in the fridge trying to decide what she wants.
No. Just
That's what's gonna happen, you know it.
so much note on that. Someone asked, explain how you teach crate training.
So I'm doing a program, and this is my first time doing it. It's actually still in beta testing right now, technically. But the great trainer and breeder, she created this program called Poop School. You guys can go look it up on Facebook if you want. And when Clara was pregnant, she was like, I want to do a crate school. One of the things that puppy culture wants people to build on is that about this point, they want you to start introducing crates to them. So we're actually about 4 weeks ahead of that. And the idea is she started using crate training really young as a way to push the litter training in a positive manner. And I've done this before, but not in this kind of accelerated fashion. I've done it where they've had crates, but not where I've fed them in crates from this age. But basically about a week ago, so at about week 4, we started feeding them together in the top crates of our stack of 4. And we started splitting their meals so that they were eating up there, so that they were associating positive things with their crate. And at this age, it's kind of like a jump-started version of crate games, which you guys can also look up on Facebook or just Google crate games. And the idea is that you want the dog to have a positive association where they get rewarded for being in the crate. And so instead of waiting until they're older to do that, or waiting until their homes are doing that, we're kind of doing all that now. So the same way that you would do crate games where you would click, mark, and reward and have the dog walk into the crate, you guys can't really tell because of where the crates are right now, but technically I've placed them to where, while I'd have to think very skinny thoughts, we can actually go behind the crates on the fireplace side, and we can definitely go behind the crates on the wall side over here to where when the dog goes in the crate, we can click and mark and reward, and they can go into the crates and be like, oh, this is fun, this is a game. And then we can do something where we're waiting to open the doors for them. So we haven't gotten to that point yet because you guys can notice that all of the crates on the bottom don't have doors right now. All the doors are folded down and the beds are over them. So then this entire time since we did this expansion and gave them the crates back when it was basically from the whelping box to the first pen expansion, we gave them the crates with no doors. And that way we moved their nest area into there. So you can see we ended up adding the big crate. Let me move it. We added the big crate because they were sleeping where it was coolest, because this breed specifically likes the cold. So they were getting warmer. So we added the big crate so that they would have plastic, not just a bed, so that they would have comfy, cozy places. So you'll notice we actually have 4 different types of bedding in their crates on the bottom that they always have access to. And I try and make it at least 2+ different ones. And then they have access to this crate all the time, and it's got the plastic with no bedding in it, so that they can lay on a surface that's cooler than anything else in the kennel. And the reason we decided
decided to do it with nothing in it is because they kept trying to lay up against the plastic boxes, the tubs, and against the whelping box because those are both PVC plastic, and so they're cooler. So we noticed since they were trying to lay up against that, we would give them something like that to lay on in a crate, which is actually not something that's normal, but that's what we decided to do because that's what they wanted to lay on. It's not what I would want to lay on, but it's not my crate, so whatever. And then same thing, this door is propped open so they can never get trapped in there, so they can't get scared or afraid or build any kind of association with being stuck in there. But they can get in there and then they all rest in there. So you'll notice, quite honestly, 90% of the time you'll see them sleeping in a crate. Obviously they fall asleep other places too, but 90% of the time since we did the expansion at 3 to 4 weeks, no, 2 to 2.5 to 3. Anyway, I don't know, whatever, I'll have to go look. When we did the expansion, we first added
you turn around.
the crates. Oh yeah, probably a good idea. When did we add the crates? We added the crates on the 27th, so 1, 2, in between 2 and 3 weeks, we added the crates. So once we started doing that, they started sleeping in the crates the vast majority of the time. And the more they started sleeping in them, the more we moved their bedding out of the flooring area and into the crates. So now that's where they sleep, this is where they play, and that is where they go potty. And part of that is just ingraining it in them like really young. And some of it, like I said, they're not gonna 100% get it. We got a play area sleeper and we totally have a technical potty area sleeper, but we also have 6 that are sleeping in a crate area. So like, I'll take what I can get because they're like 5 weeks old tomorrow. So then what we're gonna start doing is we're gonna close off these bottom crates. I'm gonna add the doors so they can go in and out the doors on their own, and then we'll start actually doing like traditional crate games. And then we have videos of it, and you guys have seen it a couple times, but not as many as we've done it, where they get wigsies and stuff like that, and they have to eat them in the crates. So if they leave the crate with it, I take it away. So they can have it on the bottom level. I have like 1 or 2 loose, and they can eat them in here, but like we did hatches the other day, and the second that he steps out of the crate with it, I take it away, give him a toy, but I also try and make sure they don't take the toys into the crate, so then they're not typically playing in the crates. Occasionally they do, but for the most part, we want the crates to be like a resty place. And then we also have, I don't know where it is right now, for the Advil. There's other stuff. I don't know. We have the Adaptil, and so we'll spray that in the beds at night. And then this is basically the same kind of pheromone that the mom lets off, so that Clara lets off, so that they calm down. So we'll spray that in there so that they rest in there, but that scent's not all over the whole pen. So it's not just the pen that's calming, it's that area that's calming. And so we're using that, and we have for basically like their whole lives, along with turning the lights off and on. So where even if we're not gonna get up, we change it so that they can get up. The flash sale is, IABCA is one of the showing organizations. Tamaskans can't show with AKC. We can show with a couple different ones, but we can't show with everybody. And that's the one that, quite honestly, I like the most out of the ones that we can show with. And so they're doing a flash sale on show entries. So Clara and Hellcat and or whoever else I'm stealing for shows have entries, because I bought a whole bunch. Heather, you said same for who? I don't know what that was about though. But if you say who is, then I can maybe elaborate, but I don't know who same for who is referring to. But then this will also help them with not wanting to leave their crates, which means that, like, hypothetically these guys, I like impact crate and I would rather be prepared than underprepared, but it means though that these guys should respect these crates a lot better than if you tried to introduce like little hellions to wire crates at, 8 weeks old, thinking they'd actually like respect the wire crate and not try and get out of it. And right now we're doing things like for meals where before they even start to cry or right when they start to cry, they get let out of the crate. So then at this age, they know that all they have to do is ask, and they're gonna get the attention that they need to be able to get what they want. And as they're older, you would technically build up duration and stuff like that. You wouldn't just let a dog out because it cried necessarily, but like at this age, they're not trying to be obstinate or rude or anything like that. They're just trying to tell us that something's up, and so we're respecting that, so that they have a chance to choose what they want to do. And so like if they man, they can go back in the crate with the chews. If they want out, they can get out. So we actually regularly have them to where like they'll all get out and they'll be like, I don't want to be in there anymore. But then I'll have a couple of them that'll come back every once in a while and they'll ask to go back in the crates, and they'll go back into a crate that they were in or in a different crate with a buddy or whatever. And we'll basically let them move around, and then they'll be happy. And then every once in a while you get some, it's usually a different one every day. Hatches is the most consistent out of all of them, that he likes to stay in the crate, but that's not like across the board. He doesn't do it every single day. But like today it was Jerk. Jerk stayed in the longest, and he was probably in for a good 15 plus minutes, Emily, don't you think? Emily's sleeping with a bun. But he was probably in for a good 15 plus minutes, and so Jerk was our like longevity seeker today, and he was in. But like yesterday it was definitely Hatches. Yesterday the first meal it was Hellcat. So it really just depends on the day, which dog it is and or what's going on. And so it kind of gives them a different experience, and same thing with what meals and everything they're getting. What meals they're getting in what places. So that gives us some variety. But yeah, I'm gonna go get their blanket because I've got to take pictures, and they peed on it yesterday, so I have to go get it from the laundry. But yeah, I'll be back in a second. Emily's gonna stay here and sleep with a bun. I'm also gonna give him the cursed water bottle back. Cursed water bottle. Also, we have all the toys now. They're getting their toys swapped out 2 to 3 times a day, and they're getting a much higher like number of toys too. Cause like, yeah. Betty. Oh, are you gonna lay on that? Yeah. Emily's gonna sleep here. Oh yeah, you're good. So the sale is for IABCA, which is dog shows. So if anybody wants to go, Emily and I are going to King. I think I don't want to oust Amber, but Amber said she was gonna go. And so I'll take Hellcat and Clara to that one, for sure.
quite honestly, Heather, if you want your puppy to go, even if you don't want to go with us, I'll take your puppy. I'll pay for entries and everything. I just want to show bred by, like, and family. So for anybody that doesn't do dog shows or whatever, I've been wanting to show family for ages, and I'm like super hyped that I get to show family. Family is you can show the bitch, or the dam, the sire, and puppies, at least like one generation, and yeah. So I want to show family, and so I want to show Clara with her buns. And so I'll definitely be showing her with Hellcat as family, and like if Amber goes and takes her bun, I'll steal her bun. We'll all show, and she'll handle her, and we can do family. And then sadly Emily's bun can't show family with us because it's not real family, it's fake family. And then you can also show bred by exhibitor. So there's a class called bred by, and so those are any dogs that you have personally bred. So like they have to be born from your kennel, but that means that any of the puppies I can show and bred by, which is a different class, and it's only like $5 to add them. So they basically, it doesn't help you title the dog really, but it's just more exposure for them and stuff like that.
Yeah, bonus bun is rather just related to these buns.
Yeah, but not enough to do family. Right, we can't justify family. All of our dogs are related. We can't just be like, all Tamaskans we show together, they're family. Sorry, I'm talking to my sister.
It'd be a shame to break all these sleeping buns anyway.
But I'm gonna have to take their pictures because they're currently sleeping, and we all know what it's like when they're not sleeping and they're crazy. Those hellions after they eat, it's like crazy town. They go nuts, man, and it's like, whoa, wow. They want to go away. She's like, OMG, you got sheets?
Yeah, this one.
He's like, OMG, I heard it. I heard it.
I do the manding thing. I'm a good bun.
I heard the M word.
Don't you dare step on me, Clara.
Because I need to be able to get the pictures before they all start waking up. Oh, my back.
Move, Clara. Now. Scooch. Here, bud. Why? We can't complain. Good boy. Good boy.
Yep, they're doing that. He's like, just edge. I want the best of both worlds.
We don't need your picture. What are you doing, Yo? She's not gonna live this life.
She was cuddling with her buns today. Did you know that?
I did, I saw it. It was so cute.
It was adorable.
Oh my god, look at it. They're doing it. I gotta look. They're doing the same thing. It's not exactly the same. Those cute as hell. Are you gonna make a pro-life choice?
Mom. That's adorable though from this angle.
It is. Alright. Scoochy, scoochy. Come on. I know. It's a hard bun to put on.
You sir. Right.
there.
No. Take that one. He's like that. Ready? Oh, go. Oh, sit down. Good boy. Good boy. Oops. Good job, boy. And yes.
Sweet mama. Wow, yeah.
The angels have the phone box. If you don't get that joke, you don't belong here. Emily doesn't belong here anymore.
Who?
Yeah.
Move, mama. Now. Whoa.
Wait a second. I didn't want to get abducted. Good boy.
Here.
Thank you. Hi, Pokey.
You want Teeny so we don't forget him?
Yeah.
Here's a Teeny.
There are some days where he's just nice and calm. Hi.
Let me just drop the bun on you.
Drop a bun on me. And throw this bun at you. Don't go
Him
long.
at me.
Go long with this bun.
Teeny. My mini martini. My mini martini. No. My mini martini, yeah.
She's like, me.
Yeah.
I'm not sit up. I'm sleepy.
Jerk. That's my boy. You good jerk, I know. There you go, bud. Oh, good luck.
Huh?
Good luck.
Oh, she's saying it. She's still like half asleep. Hey, look, it's like being in bed. Photogenic.
Hi, Hellcat. My Kit Kat. My Kit Kat. Thank you.
Come here, puppy. It's like, you're just running from my legs, you? Best time to take pictures. When they're like, what? You look like Yoda. Or He's like, no, I don't. I ashamed. Come on, you look like
cute Yoda. Look at your ears. They look like Yoda ears. Come here, Yoda. Somebody please name him Yoda. I'm just saying some of you haven't picked out names yet. I'm just letting you know that, like, really quick. Look, this is Yoda. Come on, pick up Beast. Oh yeah, I see it.
That's a P.
Put it in a litter box. Oh, gross. So getting washed again. Shit. Oh, the smelly pee. Yuck. What a baby wipe it is.
You have toxic pee on you. Oh, it's just puppy pee.
Yeah, but like, I can smell it on my hands from here. I don't need another one. Oh, are you scared of those bells? He's like, no, I gotta break them. Somebody potty. There was a pee.
I must report.
Alarm. Can you
Sound the alarm.
Well, it's not all it lasted.
Was that all of them? Oh.
So much calmer. And for my next trick, all the puppies are on Emily's side.
No.
Really, for my next trick, I shall weigh these buns.
I have a P. Give me that.
Come on, Hellcat.
I know.
Alright, crazies.
Who? I don't know where my clicker is, but
Alright,
probably in the
crazy children.
either.
Hi, crazy children. Who would like to be a crazy child? Would you like to be a crazy child? You're already a crazy child. You don't need any help. Shut
Found one.
Bogey, would you like to be a crazy child? Come on. No? She's like, I'm already here. Minding manners. Can you grab him for me?
Hi, buddy.
He's like, me.
I do this thing.
Do this thing? Alright, let's turn the scale on and show all the people your mad box skills. Right? Come on. On a box, please. Good boy. 10, 14. Good boy. Thank you. Here, you want one?
You got him?
Ready? Mad box skills. Clara, scoochy, scoochy. Bug, bug. Get in the box. Get in the box. Come on, buddy. All the way. You gotta get all the way on. Come on. Good job. Wait, ready? 10, 4. Very good boy. Good job, buddy boy.
Papa like, I can do this.
Hi. Hi, Stratus. Hey, anybody else? Come on. Let me give me one of those potty buns. Hi, Bug. Bug, Bug. Who you bugging? Somebody. I bug somebody. Come on, Teddy Cat. Ready? Can you get in the box for me now? Get in the box. Good
job. Where are you?
Yo, Boats.
Hi. She's like, we gotta turn around. Can you do it for me? Good cat. Good cat.
Distraction.
On the box. Come on.
Again, no.
9 foot. We're just gonna ignore you guys. 9 foot. Yep. And we're just gonna let the crazy adults be crazy adults. Clara, ma'am, sit. Sit. Alright, who is this? Come over here, come on, Abby. I'm just gonna let Abby bark her full head. Oh, I'm gonna just have that kind of day. Oh, don't care if she barks. Ready?
Leave it.
Come on. Sit.
Ow.
Come on, bud. Come on. Are you having a day? He's like, we're all having a day, bro. Yeah? What's up? Say hello. Like, I'm just dressing in a picture. I'm really excited. Come on. Come on. I'm freaked out by this now. It's telling me my weight. People keep picking on me. There you go. Come on. It's off. I know. Ready? Come here. Alright, hang on. I know it's really exciting. Yes, we're gonna do it again. Alright, come on the box. Come on.
Corn.
You gotta get all the way on. You having a hard day, man?
Like I am. No way.
We get some poop jobs.
Is that what's going on?
Okay, so we're gonna put down 11:14, and then I'm gonna weigh him in like 2 hours because I legitimately think it's because he is not like they go to the bathroom after they eat and he doesn't. He's weird. So literally everything he ate, he hasn't gone yet. So his weight's totally weird.
So it sounds scary.
Right. So clearly before he gets on an airplane, we're gonna be like, dude, that's it.
Before you get weighed, you gotta poop.
Okay.
Where's your shirt?
Straight here. Go bed.
Like I was waiting my turn patiently like a good one.
Come here. I can't reach it. You're too far away. Right, ready? On the box, please. Georgia, get on the box. Come on, bud. What should we do? Come on. Your turn. All right, come on, Georgia. Georgia, distract him at it. Good job. Here. Ten.
Okay.
Good job, buddy. Okay. 4. Oh, look at that. Hi, bud. Ready? Come on, in the box. 4-1. 4-1. Oh, we gotta sit on it. Come on.
Teeny and hatches after that.
Come on, buddy. 4-1.
You're so distracted, dude.
Hey. Woo, woo. Hello. Crazy town. That's my foot. Look. Like what? There you go. Hey.
No cheating.
That's me. I don't like to lure you, but like. I'm gonna go with 11-4. 11. 2. 11-4. 11-2.
11-3?
11-3 sounds awesome.
Like
This scale won't do uneven ounces,
which is really weird.
which is annoying as heck, but whatever.
I'm sorry, but it has to be done.
Must be done. Ready? Come on, get on the box, my Timmy. Good job. All the way. Good job. Now you can't back up. Good.
Hold this and don't press enter.
No, I'm gonna press enter. I'm sorry, buddy. Ready, you ready? Watch out, Emily. Move, we're videoing.
Yeah.
Hands on your toe. He's like, no, bro, I'm sleeping. Ready? Come on, buddy. Let's go sleep on this. Yeah, all right. Ready? You can go to sleep as soon as we do this. Good. No way. All right, 9-8. Good job. All right. That's everybody. Except for Seawolf, who we're gonna wait after. Cause I don't believe it. There's no way. I think our data is skewed. Uh-huh. Come on, you get out of that potty. Come on. Come on, everybody, let's get out the potty. Go play in the play area. Oops, missed that. Ow. He's like, oh. Those kids are at it again.
Crap, look at his paws. They're enormous.
She's like, why are you doing this to me? I'm already dealing with all them.
See those paws. Freaking burnt.
Woo! She says I'm no bad. Come on, humans. You guys are like humans. Woo, look at this.
Ooh.
Give 'em. Wait, this is a trick.
Trap.
It's a trap. It is a trap. You'd have to get out.
Hey, dirt block is solid.
Yeah, I'll do that in a second. They're not all gonna lose their colors in 2 seconds. I'm wondering.
What?
Well, not permanently, but you want them to play?
No, I need her to be able to
Oh,
get out.
okay.
And she's
I'm
still
like-
not comfortable jumping the whole thing.
Yeah, I was like,
So she might jump it.
yeah. All of these are
Everything is you. It's all Lou. We're gonna throw it all out. Start over again. Trash. Sure, hold up a second.
Found him. It's the naked fun.
I just was like,
I can't tell.
well, actually, like, he's right next to,
Stratus.
yeah,
And
but he's also, he's like, right, he's darker, but like only slightly. Right here is the only place he's really darker from this particular view from.
now, if you look from this view right here, all three look the same.
Right, which is why I was like, I think, but I'm not sure. And then I was like, yeah, you're naked, it's here. jerk, and then Stratus,
Yeah.
and then Hatches. But
I can't
Hatches
see who is.
it's Hatches. But like, and I knew it was Stratus, but I was like, shit, from this view I can't tell which view this is.
And then over here it's Bugs, Cat, and Seawolf.
Yeah, but that's also easy.
No, is that number
Where's
2?
Martini?
That's Martini and then
Martini's
Seawolf.
over there. Seawolf must be on the back.
Yeah. I'm like, wait a second, that's not Seawolf, those ears are up.
Either way. Our melon wall.
Yeah, our melon
My
wall.
melon wall is over there.
Fake melon wall.
They do scream at night sometimes. I'm gonna take Clara and Hellcat to King in North Carolina in February. We're definitely gonna do that one. Hellcat will do 3 shows and so will Clara. I really wanna take Clara to 4 shows, but I don't know if I'll be able to do it. I also really wanna go to a Northeast show, but I don't know if I'll be able to work it out. But that's, Emily and I really want to go, but Hellcat won't go to that one, because I'll have to fly if I go to the Northeast. And so, if I do that one, I'll probably only take Clara, because I can just fly with her, so I'll probably take her if I go to an upstate, or an East Coast one. Hellcat will probably go to at least one in Texas or possibly 1 or 2 in Florida. Technically we might also go to Georgia because that's also in my bubble that I'm willing to drive to. But for Hellcat, unlike Clara, for Hellcat I have to drive unless I want to ship her cargo. Clara can fly in cabin with me, but Hellcat can't. So yeah, it's kind of a drive distance option for anything that I want to show with Hellcat. Clara, I might actually even take to like a Washington or a California show, to be quite honest. Just because if I want to go visit friends or something, or if I can get the time off, I could literally fly out on a Friday night or a Friday after work, and I could go to a show on Saturday, Sunday, and I could fly back Sunday night and literally go to work on Monday if I needed to or wanted to. I wouldn't actually have to take any time off if I went to a show with Clara and flew. But to take Hellcat, I need to take all of Friday off and probably all of Monday off, unless it was like in Houston. Basically, that's the only thing close enough that IABCA or anybody has to Louisiana that I could possibly make without taking time off. So it makes it a little bit more difficult. If I lived in Texas, Florida, Georgia, or something like that, I could probably have a wider range, but I don't have one. The closest shows to me are, what's the Texas one nearest to you?
Conroe.
Okay, so Conroe, which is by Houston. Oh yeah? Oh no? It's like, oh, definitely not.
That's a no.
That's a no. Hello, fear period. That was kibble sounds. But like Conroe is near Houston, so that's the closest show to me, period. End of story. King is actually about, like maybe 16 hours from me, ish.
I think it's like 12.
It might be closer to 12, might be 16 from Houston. I can't remember anymore, but it's definitely over 10. Georgia, Atlanta is about,
Thank you.
hold up. Atlanta and Savannah. Savannah's about 10 hours from me. So the Georgia shows are in Lawrenceville, I think. So they're basically right outside of and or in the like outskirts of Atlanta. So that's
an hour away from Atlanta.
11 to 12 hours.
Yep.
So King is probably closer to maybe like 13 to 14 hours. But then again, you don't have to go through Atlanta to get to King, so that makes it a little bit easier. Tampa, I think, is the next closest, but that's the same kind of thing as going to Savannah. You're just going a different direction. So you're still looking at 10 and a half, 11 hours to get to Tampa. Then I think Dallas, Fort Worth, and Austin are the next closest. And then I think Oklahoma after that, and then Ohio. Everything else is hella far. Everything else is plane ride worthy. Yeah, so, and they do scream at me, but not all night. It kind of depends. Like last night, there was a very small part of me that wanted to murder them all. Because they started screaming when Hellcat got out. And or like they try and get to Clara, so they try and get her to come to them, and then she's like, yeah, forget you, I won't do it.
Let's just look at my phone.
Which one am I looking at? Because I already know it. That?
Yeah.
Yeah. I usually post if we go to a show unless I don't have time to visit people, if that makes any sense. So like, or unless I'm like too stressed to deal with people, which is possible. But usually I post if we travel, if I have any time for people to meet us, or if I'm comfortable like seeing people. I won't post if either I'm uncomfortable and or don't have time, because like I need to post and be like, we're going to New York. P.S. I can't see you.
That's horrible.
I kind of feel like that's a jerk move. So a lot of times if I do that and I don't have time or I like can't mentally, physically, whatever, handle it, then I won't say anything until after we're there. A lot of airlines fly cargo. Dogs get shipped all over the world for shows. So it's not really a big deal, quite honestly. It's just expensive as heck. And there's also restraints on when you can fly them, temperature-wise. You, eat out of that bowl. Eat out of that one. It's the same. Let Freaky Boy have his bowl. So there's a lot of airlines that are okay with flying dogs cargo. And I'm actually not really very averse to it. I've done it a lot, actually. But it's hella expensive. It's just, it makes going to a show a lot more complicated because you have temperature constraints in either direction, so it can't be too cold, it can't be too hot. You have other issues with like, what if the dog ends up delayed or you end up delayed and the dog ends up ahead of you, which doesn't happen very regularly, but it can happen. You're also usually paying a minimum of $200 to ship something cargo when they're bigger than puppies. Sometimes as puppies it's not really crazy, but as puppies it's kind of easy enough to figure out. But like a dog Clara's sized, or like a dog the size Hellcat or these guys will be by the time they're 6 to 8 months old, is a beast to ship. You also could be dealing with a fear period, and like when you plan a show and you buy your entries and you buy your
Stratus, I think you might be trying to eat pellets.
Hey, Strat,
Clown fun.
come on.
I don't know what he's doing.
I think he's just playing, but oh, hey, you need this back? There you
Oh,
go.
that's what he's.
You got enough? There you go, buddy. No, Martini, what is with you and the pellet life?
I don't
Out
freaking
of
know.
here.
Everyone's a
Come on, pellet life. He's like, let's talk to my teeth. Pellet life. When you do everything for a show, the issue is that like cargo, they can technically tell you the day of that you can't fly. So you usually want to try and go a couple days early and then have a couple days like layovers so that if you can't get the dog back on the plane, you can go back, which isn't a big deal for something like nationals or whatever, like in Orlando where you're going for like a freaking week. But like to go to a weekend show, it's a little bit ridiculous. And of course you have the alcoholic toy. It's cool, boy. Whatever. Martini, I can't get him out of the litter box. He's playing with a wine bottle in the litter box. I can't.
Martini!
I'm sorry I named him Martini. To
I know,
anybody and everyone. I'm not either, not really. You can't have my phone, Warbun. But yeah, so it's more expensive because then too, like, instead of paying, like, let's say, okay, so if I drove, like, before I had multiple doggos doing a show, or like if Hellcat wasn't coming, for me to go to the King's show, I have to pay for gas, I've got my car, I've got to get a hotel room, and I've got to pay the entries, which can be expensive, but technically you could do a show for under $200. Especially like I have a rooftop tent,
you could like have a camper, whatever, who knows, okay? Maybe your car is like super economic. And so you could technically do a show pretty cheaply, especially if it's close enough. Like going to the one near Emily, like this is a good example. I could drive to Emily's on a tank of gas. So between the show and my travel to Emily, I'd be maybe 3 tanks of gas. That would be under $100 for my little car. Me, all my stuff in Clara and Hellcat would fit in the car. So it wouldn't cost me anything for that. It wouldn't have to do any kind of special food or anything like that. It wouldn't have to change their schedules. Oh my god, they're crazy. And I just have to pay for my show entries.
And food.
And regular food. But you guys wouldn't necessarily know this. I'm of the mind of traveling that I was going to buy food regardless of where I was in the world because I was still going to eat. So I actually don't count food as an expense when I'm traveling.
I do.
I don't, because I'm like, I was going to eat anyway.
Oh, really?
So I'm like, whatever, it's the same thing. Because I'll also grocery shop when I go on trips. Like I have an ice chest that I can plug into my car that's actually like a refrigerator. So like I will go to the grocery store and buy like real food. So I kind of just count it as the same thing, which is weird, but I travel enough that that's how I feel about it. So whatever. But so technically, like I could go and stay at Emily's house and go to the show near her, and it would cost me like, even if I paid for my entries that week, I think it would cost under $200. So like totally doable, right? Well, if I flew there with Clara and Hellcat, my airfare would probably be at least $100 plus shipping whatever dog would be $150 to $200, if not more. So like all of a sudden this activity that's like under $200 could be like $1,000. Like very quickly, because I'd also need a car or need to pay for Emily to pick me up from the airport or yada 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 yada. You know, go down the list of stuff that you have to worry about. I also technically, like a lot of times I'll bathe my dogs at home if I'm driving like only to Emily's. I would bathe them and then get in the car and we'd go, and I wouldn't bathe them again before the show. But if we're driving somewhere further or flying, I'm gonna bathe them once we get wherever we're getting, which means I have to pay for self-service dog wash and do all that stuff. Find or bring a forest dryer, which is not an enjoyable experience.
Nope.
Versus just using all my own stuff. Ow, Satan doggo. But yeah, so it can be a lot more expensive to go further away. Whereas like Clara can fly in cabin with me, so like if I can get a $200 ticket to Washington and I already paid my holiday special fees and I wanted to do a show with her in Washington, I would literally have to pay, if I didn't take Hellcat with me, I would have to pay $15 to $20 for the express show, and I'd have to pay for my airplane ticket, but that would be it.
You're blocking.
Like I wouldn't have to pay for all kinds of other stuff to do a whole weekend, because I already bought my 4 regular entries, and I can't do any extra classes with her. So like, it wouldn't really be that bad if I was gonna go see a friend anyway and be like, oh hey, I'm gonna go to LA for the weekend and go visit somebody. I could just go fly in and see them, and I don't have to worry about like, can I get a pet in a taxi, or can I rent a car with a pet, or is my hotel pet friendly? Like there's a lot of stuff if I was taking Clara somewhere that like I get super spoiled and not have to deal with. It's just a lot easier. So like, I might go to like further away shows with just Clara that I would never do with Hellcat because she's not a service dog. So like, it's just gonna be harder. Do I force try every roll? Is it supposed to be roll? Do I force try every roll? Every bath? Every roll on my dog?
Every time you bathe.
I can't ever, oh, okay, cool, every time I bathe. I can't ever type, Heather. Just ask Jenna, or Emily, or JC, or Jay, or anybody who's ever spoken to me, ever. But I don't do it every single time, but I do have a force dryer. Sorry. Would I air dry? Is that what the other question was? I
I do occasionally, like the last time I bathed Clara, I just let her air dry. I wasn't in the mood, she wasn't in the mood, and I was like, forget this. But most of the time I force dry, and especially with puppies, like these guys I didn't force dry when we did their first baths because I don't need to traumatize the ever-loving crud out of them. But like I will start to force dry them, even if it's just like with a hair dryer, just so that they get used to it. I used to do this thing with Clara, and I did this with one of our service dogs called River, and I'm like, are you a superstar? And then I go like under their head, and they do this whole like thing, and they get tons of cookies for it. And so then I can be like, are you a superstar? And they do it, and it's like one of those things that you could totally slow-mo video. Brings me joy. But I do force dry for shows all the time. I think that quite honestly it makes your work a lot easier with these guys too, especially down here. If you can force dry, it's just all of that coat and crap that you technically have to brush off. You don't have to brush them afterwards, and I'm lazy and or efficient depending on which way you'd like to look at it. And so I personally, go on, you can make it, you can do it. Thank you.
I hate this.
She's like, oh, it's so much
Can you go
taller.
outside, Mama?
But so I force dry Clara a lot, not actually because I like need her to be used to it or anything, but because she like really doesn't care, or and it's just easier. I have an actual force dryer, and I didn't make Emily get it, but she used mine for a dog show and was like, holy crap, I love this thing! And then she got one. I actually saved up for a while to get one. It was one of those things that I've wanted since I left Alaska because I got used to using one when I was working at a grooming salon, the kennel and everything like that, and I was like, I don't know how I'm gonna live my life without one.
And I held off on getting one because I was like, oh my god,
She was like,
force
I don't
dryers
need
have to cost like at least $1,000 or $2,000.
Yeah, they don't. I mean, like my force dryer's like, what was it, like one something?
It was like under 200.
It was under 200, and like that is a lot of money. I'm not gonna lie
Yeah,
and say
it
like,
is.
oh, that's nothing. But there are people that spend more than that on a hair dryer.
Too bad.
So like, I saved up for a while, and this is like so me, but like, I saved $10 every month for a year. I did the same thing with my Diamond Groove, which is my Dremel bit.
I still could get one.
It's like $150, and you guys are like, holy shit, focus, it's a lot of money. So basically, I tried to save up $500 for my force dryer and for my Diamond Groove. And so like, I'm not even kidding you, for 2 years, because I was making nothing. Nothing. We're not going to talk about how I wasn't even making, yeah, no, it's scary. Anyway, so I basically literally saved $10 a month for like ever. And when I got enough for the Diamond Groove, I bought that first.
This
And
needs to get sanitized.
okay, just put it to the side and let Fluffo not go back in. And then when I bought the Diamond Groove, I started saving like $10 a month again. I just kept doing it. And if I could put away more faster, I did, but like some months I couldn't, and then some months I could. It just kind of depended on what was going on. I bought the force dryer after that. But yeah, I mean like, my hair dryer wasn't that much, but it was on sale. So like, I'm just saying, it's totally feasible that like a human hair dryer totally costs that much. But some people are like, I can't believe you spent that much on a Dremel bit. And I'm like, yeah, but I haven't sanded my fingers in like 3 years. So.
Meanwhile, I've done it like every single time I've
Also,
tried.
like, you guys will be like, what? Emily, can you get me my Dremel so that I can Dremel these little human dances?
Yeah.
Is Clara in her kennel?
Yeah, I had to put her in jail because I took
Abby out? Okay, so I'm not gonna be able to see your questions, but so y'all are gonna be like, you're insane. I've done this a couple times and people are always like, are you crazy? Can you guys see me? I can answer that question. Why are you eating the walls? I don't know if you guys can see me.
Go towards the center of it.
I'm going to the center. I'm going to the center. Okay, they're gonna steal my phone.
Of course they are.
Good.
Kitchen.
Okay, so my hair is like super cray cray, but it's
Kitchen.
short, so like, well, it's shorter than it normally is. So, I don't know. I don't know if you guys can see me. We'll find out in a second. provoking? He's like, no. Okay, so this is my Dremel. This is a Dremel Micro. I don't remember the numbers. Don't ask me. I have no idea. And it is a sonic screwdriver now. All of my grooming stuff has sonic screwdrivers on it. And you guys have seen me do this with the puppies, but there's a bunch of different Dremels. You can totally get one for like $20, so it's not like it's one of those like, I refuse to do this. You can get a Dremel for like the same or less as you can get like nail clippers for dogs. So like, I'm just telling you, there's no reason to ever get nail clippers again. I hate them. I have them. I can use them, but I hate them because I'm terrified of quicking dogs. It's my secret fear.
I've done it before.
But I've done it before too. It's not a very pleasant experience. So I hit this and it comes on in the middle. I'm going to turn it lower so you guys can hear me. But this one has a flashlight on the end, so especially with these kinds of dogs or dogs with black nails, you can't see the quick. But if you put a flashlight in front of it, you can see the quick. So if you ask me questions, I can't see them because they are literally like, the Dremel means cookies. Like a call to the wild.
Yeah.
But the flashlight makes it so you can see their quick through the nail, even with dark nails. And these guys have, it's really weird, but it's kind of cool, and a lot of people don't notice it. Excuse me, give me that collar.
And that light can turn off. I just don't remember how to do it.
There's a way to turn the light off.
Yes, you can turn it off. I don't know why you would ever want to do that though.
Yeah, I don't know why you'd ever turn it off, but okay. I mean, I'm sure the manual tells you, and I'm gonna tell you too. I bought this.
Too long ago.
Too long ago. I was in Alaska. It was maybe a year before I left Alaska, so it's been a hot minute and a half. It actually wouldn't take a charge about a year ago, a little over a year ago, because we were going to the Dallas-Fort Worth show. It wouldn't take a charge, and I actually had to use Emily's Dremel.
My non-micro, which is really
her non-micro, and I wanted to die.
It was super loud.
I had to use her non-micro with a regular sanding bit.
Oh,
I was like, oh, what is this world? And because mine, they sent me a new one because I'd sent it in to get repaired, and they were like, we can't fix it. So they sent me a new one, a brand new one, because it was under warranty. And I will say too, my warranty had expired. They did not have to send me a new one. And Dremel is just that awesome sauce. They were like, psh, whatever, we love you, here you go. So they sent me a new one. So the reason I got this one, the bit, is that it goes down into the base, and then it's hollow on the inside. And this one has two different, I think at least two different, I pinned it on my Amazon list. For people that are not puppy people, like getting our puppies, I'll post the list for you when I'm done with them, but the confirmation list right now in our file section and group has stuff. And these are both on it. But this one is the boxer bit, and it's a higher grit over here and a lower grit over here. So like this is rougher for taking off like more substance, and this is finer for like rounding it and making it look cute and pretty and shit. But because it's hollow, it makes it so that it doesn't overheat, and then that makes it so that like you literally never have to replace this thing. This is diamond fragments, so like it doesn't go bad, right? That's why it's called diamond groove. But like it doesn't wear down. So normal Dremel, like sander heads, I would go through like one a week when I was grooming professionally. Normal people don't go through them that fast.
I basically go through.
Like I'd say one every couple months or so, depending on how much you're doing nails.
For Abby, I get through.
It also depends on how rough the nails are. Like I could usually get through Clara for a while, but like there were one or two labs that I did that like they
and changing
and changing the sandpaper is weird. I always felt uncomfortable doing it, but the thing I don't like about doing the sandpaper ones is when you do this, it hurts like hell because you're not supposed to do that. So if you're like holding their feet and doing this weird thing or whatever, and you're trying to make it quieter, and you're trying to like hit their nails, you'll hit your finger. And a lot of people, when they're dremeling, they hesitate and they're uncomfortable, and that makes the dog uncomfortable. And I've seen that be a bigger issue than actually like dremeling, like Emily. Yeah.
I can't dremel my dog's nails.
Cray. So that is really nice because basically the only thing I can do is Dremel my own nails, but I can't just like go through the top of my nail. Also, like those sanding bits, I don't want to like freak anybody out, but I've like totally like Dremeled into the top of my nail with a sanding bit, and it hurts like heck, and it burns, and then you also like have a hole in your nail. So none of this is a pleasant experience. That's not normal, by the way, either. Most people don't have that problem. But also, like, it's not a big deal with these guys because their fur doesn't go all over the place, but like, I've got Morgan and he's a poodle, and I've got like other dogs with longer hair. You do Goldens and just Aussies have the feathers on their legs and stuff. And the regular Dremel bit will get caught on the hair and it'll get tangled. Or like you do this crap like me and you lean over and your hair comes out of your ponytail and gets in your face. And if it's in your face and your face is by their feet, then all of a sudden, like, I can't even tell you how many times I've had people that work for me come to me and they're like, can you get this out of my hair? Or they come to you and there's this huge hunk of dog or human hair, like, stuck to it, and they're like, I'm never doing this again, and they hand you a Dremel because there's literally, like, a chunk of something attached to it because they got it off, but by the time they got it off, they, like, had already yanked hair out. It's really just not a very pleasant experience. But you guys are going to be like, you're crazy. So I can do it on full speed, and y'all are really going to be like, I can't believe you're doing this. So my hair is like on this thing. Ooh. And it doesn't pull on my hair, so it won't pull on their fur. And that is like literally, that alone is worth $150 to me. Because if I wanted to go get my hair done, I'd go pay to get my hair done and wouldn't yank it out my scalp with a Dremel. None of this seems like a positive experience. And that alone can, oh, come on, Clara, save us. Ew, so gross. I don't even want to look. That alone to me is worth $150 because it's hard to get a dog that's been Dremeled like their paw pads or that's had hair yanked out. It's hard to bring them back from that. Like it, and it's not even anything that's anybody's fault. Like it's not like it's intentional or like you try and do it. It's really hard, and it's something that like you can't usually just train them out of easily. So like it's just a really negative experience for everybody, and nobody wants that. That's not fun. So that in itself for me is worth $150, but like a lot of people, you don't do nails enough to make it worth it. Like when I was grooming or like bathing and or like running a kennel in a salon and stuff like that, like I do 10 dogs a day plus. So like it was worth it for me because I could go through a whole sanding bit like in one day. Whereas like you guys could take like 3 months to go through that. So it's not really necessarily worth it for you. You're fine. He's like, no, I'm not. Really? That's a mama. Who's stepping on you? Guys, you're making this a negative experience. He's getting stepped on. Why? Sir? No, sir. Come on, guys. Leave poor Bobs alone. He's having fun, and you guys are like, no, let's step on his fun. I know. Why did they step on you? Yeah, they stepped on me. I know, buddy. I know. I would scream like a chicken, too, if I got stepped on. What do you know? Right. Here you go, buddy. Don't step on him. Come on, y'all. I'm going to make your Auntie Emily come in here. Don't lick it. That's not a good idea.
See
Don't
what?
step on it. You little goof.
You want to eat your food?
I'm sorry,
Who are
buddy.
you?
I know. He's stepping on you. How's he
Brad.
doing, Dad? What's he stepping on you for?
Brad,
What's he stepping on you
he
for?
chewed on my leg, he stepped on me, he chewed on me.
That's so... This is what I mean about, like, it could be a really positive experience, or your sibling could be a jerk
Right.
and step on you, and you could be like, I hate this forever.
He
You
chewed
not
on me.
finish?
tub with it, and I was like, oh, cool story, bros. Can I see your foot? I was like, not really.
Okay.
Hi.
Whoa. You live in the naked way?
Yes. I'm the only girl, so everybody knows who I am. We're not gonna do any more. You let me do a couple more. There's a good boy.
You can't wear naked.
There's a good boy. Here you go. I'm gonna do hatches since he wants to eat it. Trying to dremel down your nails, sir?
Seaworth. I think it was Seaworth meat.
There's a bunch of them. I wanted to do them yesterday, and I was like, I can't do this. Where you going, Val? Where you going? So I gotta go somewhere.
like
Ask
that.
Auntie Emily if she did the cheese. You're the one eating my dremel. Look, Auntie Emily's gonna give you some numbers. Why are you literally? You can't have them. She's like, you can do my nails.
Want the cheese?
Like, definitely not. I want the squishy. Here you go. Clara, scoot your leg. Go. Scoot your whole leg. Oh, hang on. Oh, hang on. Oh, there you go. Wiggle, 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 wiggle. Waka, 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 waka. Waka, 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 waka.
I'm working on hot dogs now.
Everybody. Two more nails. Ooh, watch that tail. One more nail. One more. He's like, give it up. Whatever, you win.
Bring me back here real quick.
Here, bud. Here you go. Boom. Excuse you. Hi. You're next.
You, Teeny. You usually just like chill.
Alright, chill. Where you going?
Not chill. Not
Definitely
doing
not
chill
chill.
right now.
Yeah, I'm not here, not do a chill ever.
I'm not asleep this time.
Go.
What?
What? Here. Cheese.
Ow, it's my finger.
Oh shoot, where'd you go? I fell.
Ow! Here you. Come here. Your turn. Brat. What?
Clara, get out.
Go.
You're taking my fingers with you.
Go. Lay down.
We'll see you all first.
Oh, you guys are just gonna eat it, but you're not actually gonna like let me dremel your nails.
Right.
What's wrong, bud?
I'm gonna lie to you.
You don't like it? Too much vibration? Ooh, that was a bit much. Here you go. I know. Hi. Ooh, there you go. Whoa, you got like some fangs going on right there, dude.
You're talons.
Don't put your foot there. That's why I have my finger there. That would hurt. You're not doing that. Why are you crying? I want freedom. I want to not die when you touch me, so let's have those moments together. He's like, I can't believe you had this on full force. I like grumpy slow. Grumpy slow. There you go.
Good boy.
You guys ripped my alum pants. I need new ones. That's too sweet. There you go. I know. There you go. it on. You do that all right.
Hands up. I saw.
Yeah, I don't trust things like that. You're just gonna flail into that food bowl? Yes. Ta-da!
Need the cheese. I want to eat the cheese. It's not my dog. If I eat the cheese or the milk.
I know, huh? One more foot, man. And then I gotta do claws if I can snag them.
I eat the cheese. No the cheese. No the cheese.
That's because you're like a weird cat.
No the cheese. I know the cheese.
Who else do I need to? Oh my god, look at Doofus Doof.
It's adorable though.
Stay still. Yeah, but. Why are you touching my feet, you? You want to get yours done? No, I'm done with you. Alright, little man. Are we all going through these phases where we're like, oh,
Dear goodness, war buns.
get off of that pea spot. Lay down. Oh, that's 2 pea spots. You probably where you going? You're not going to lay on those pea spots again. That's for darn sure. Skippy. He's like, I'm done with you, human. Leave me be. Oh, look at this. Belly rubbins. Belly rubbins. No. Belly rubbins. Where you going? See, I got stepped on this time this happened. I got stepped on this time this happened. Clara, go. No one asked for you. You gonna sit up while I do it? There you go. You know, let's finish these nails that are kind of redonkulous because your siblings be like, I'll step on you. Yeah. Clara, move, ma'am. Clara, scoot, babe.
I thought you said I couple to that.
So Bogey apparently likes to sit up to do his nails.
That's fine.
Yeah, I don't really care how he likes to do his nails. I think he likes to stupid nails.
This is your right hand.
Yeah.
Just taking the cheese.
Good
More
job.
cheese. More fun.
Yeah, I'm gonna put that to him on.
For the left cheek.
Good job.
Well done, that's a good boy. Oh, that's a good boy.
He's like, what are you touching me for, you? You're not sleeping on that potty, sir. Let's bun away. Can you hold that for a second? Whoa. I was like, what just happened to me? Hang on. I was gonna give you some rubs. What rubs? Look, watch, 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 watch. Belly rubs. Belly rubs. Belly rubs. Give us some belly rubs. Belly rubs. You sit on me to eat? Okay. Oops, sorry. That is why I have a diamond fruit. In
case your Emily that you packed decides to hit you.
That totally went down my finger.
I'm sorry.
It's okay, that's why it's a down groove.
You done, bud?
Try and grab somebody else so that we can get them calm by the time. Or should I just wait?
You're better off waiting.
Who else do I need to do?
War and Strata. Strata's right here. War.
Non-stick.
Forgot that for a second.
That one's for me. It's adorable. Hmm?
Back, ears and toes, back, shoulders, knees and toes, knees and toes. Shoulders, knees and toes, knees and toes.
That's a big disturb.
Non-stick. Yeah, so let's do full comfort. Full comfort. Full comfort butt. Just coming off it everywhere. What's the hiccups, little one? Those are some big hiccups for such a little bun. What's up, Yoda? Let me watch the little boy and I'm all grown up. You got some serious hiccups, buddy. This is short. Can you see that puppy pimple? I think you have a puppy pimple. I think your Auntie Emily is right. You have a puppy pimple? Puppy pimple, puppy pimple, puppy, 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 puppy pimple. Okay. Here, want this Sharko? Sharko. Auntie Emily's gonna play with you and give you some numbers. Jeez, that's cool. Oh no, little belly rubbers. Jeez, it's like a little shark, dude. It's like, yeah, it's a shark. Okay. Ouch. Sacrifices, man. This might not work. He might not be in there. Don't lick it. You got cheese all over you, bud. Alright. No, come on, one more. Cheese all over you. There's cheese everywhere. Oh my Jesus. Don't give it to him all. I need to see his face. Goob. Emily's like, good, we turned it off, so we don't need to do anything. Yeah, I just need to check this puppy pimple that he doesn't want me to touch. I know. Ow, 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 ow. If he screams, guys, it's not because he's in, like, insane pain. He's just super uncomfy because he's got this puppy pimple right on his lip. There we go, buddy. You got it? Yeah, let's do it. There we go. Give me that puppy pimple. I do things for the cheese. No. Ow! Jeebus. I do things for the cheese, like bite my Auntie Emily. Ah. My fingers, dude. He's like, I don't care. Give me the cheese, yo. It's all the cheese. Shark teeth. Shark teeth. Alright, yeah, I know. I got the whole thing now. I'm so sorry. I'm so sorry. Oh my goodness. I'm so sorry. I got your puppy pimple. Yeah, I only got this once. But that's okay. We got your puppy pimple and check it. It looks good. You have freedom? Ready? Look, watch this. Watch this. Go. 1, 2. 1, 2, 3. Love her the most. I don't love you the most right now, dude. Did you hear that? She doesn't love you the most right now. OMG, Yoda. Yoda. OMG, Yoda. My fingers no love your deepest sins.
She was gonna say that her fingers don't love your mouth, but that's a lie.
The teeth is the teeth is oh the teeth is wow.
You better not keep biting your Auntie Emmy. Your mommy is gonna beat you. So Clara doesn't like it. This is pretty funny, but I noticed this maybe a day or two ago. Clara doesn't like it. She doesn't mind if they jump on us. And at first I thought it was that she didn't want them jumping on us. But then I realized she doesn't do anything about it
Sir.
if they jump on us. But when they jump on us and bite at us, she'll grab their heads and be like, and be like, stop it. Which is pretty entertaining.
Come here, Mama.
Won't lie. Okay, Clara, stay still, yo. She's like, what?
No, sir.
Oh my god, it all hurt. Stay still, Mama. She's like, why? Why would I stay still? Thank you. Good girl.
Goober.
Yeah, Mama had like neglecto nails because she was in here with all the Yuki things. And normally I do Clara's nails every other week, but I started doing them every couple days or every week right now because when she had the litter, I did her nails before, obviously she whelped and or like since, but I never took them down as much as I really normally do because I wanted her to not click and I wanted her to not hurt the buns, but I also wanted her to not be stressed out or anything, and you can tell that she's super stressed out by this activity. But I wanted to make sure that this wasn't stressing her out, so I didn't do it as much as I normally do. Because I didn't want to make her uncomfortable. I figured I'd rather just have to take her nails down more after the bunnos were a little older than
Got you.
than to do it and keep them as short as I sometimes keep them before the buns were here. There were some things that were not worth the fight. And you can see like they totally think that this means like cookies, so they're like all about like trying to get to it. But like there's obviously like a whole other set of like problems when they're like, let's go over by the Dremel.
Good boy. See, like they miss like that.
Yeah, which is why I was thinking about doing longer.
Yeah.
We might still have the same problem though, to be quite honest.
Yeah.
But
Yo, we're fun.
good girl. Oh, good girl.
Take that.
You ready? You want freedom? Freedom!
What are you doing?
Mama? So go getting cuddles. I love cuddles.
This is a
Forced
challenge.
cuddles. Give in to the snuggles. Is she giving me the resting biatch face?
Oh, heck
Give in to the snuggles. Hey, you ready? Sit. We do this for our viewers. Pet the bunny. Pet the bunny. Pet the bunny. Alright, freaks. More fun?
My fingers hurt.
Bed bros. Ooh, calming spray. Bedtime. We've been picking up this food. We don't need full-fledged access all the time. Yeah, she's just a doofus.
Who?
Said, is she okay?
Oh.
I don't know who that was. That you were talking about. Clara, Hellcat, Emily. They're all fine.
I don't lie.
Yeah, the bit is 150. There's actually a whole bunch of different models. Ashco, I won't link it today just because I'm gonna have to go and find it, but I'm making some Amazon like inspiration lists or whatever the hell people call them. I'm putting a lot of that stuff in there. So that you guys can see it. And yeah, these Doobus faces, like, they'd be screaming a bloody murder sometimes, but they'd be fine. And then sometimes they scream and we're like, oh my god, they're like totally not okay with being drummeled, and it's really just somebody else like biting them. Which is like really infuriating, but like also like, just makes me want to bang my head on a wall.
Yeah.
Like with Bogey earlier, I'm like, oh my god, I'm hurting him. And I'm like, no, everybody's stepping on him. So obviously he's not happy about it. Right. And sometimes they wiggle a bunch. This is kind of like this weird, like, oh cool. This weird like in between, and I will say like this isn't okay for like everyday people to do. And I'm not saying I'm like super special, but you kind of get this feel for the dogs and what they'll accept and what they won't accept, and especially with older dogs or dogs that you know are okay with a Dremel, sometimes they'll pull their foot away or they'll scream and you won't actually be touching them or doing anything to them, and if you know confidently that like you're definitely not hurting them, then like sometimes, and this is very, very specific, but just so that you guys don't necessarily go out and do this.
Does that mean you wanted one?
But sometimes the best thing that you can do is hold their foot a little bit longer or do that one more nail afterwards, because then they go, oh, so you mean if I freak out, like nothing happens? Like I don't get let go and I don't get hurt and like literally nothing happens. Because if you let go every time they move their foot or every time they scream, like Hellcat would probably develop this. Just so that you guys are full aware, just like watching her and knowing her at this point and like seeing how she acts. Like, she screams for like no good reason. Like she just screams to scream. It's like Warbud and his battle cry. Like they'll just do the screams. And it sounds really terrifying and crazy and like welcomes to Tamaskans because they always sound terrifying and crazy. Like they make these weird, freaky sounds. And so you kind of get used to it and you kind of just know what those sounds mean. Kind of like babies having different cries, and you know when like your baby is like giving you a load of crap versus when they're actually hurt, but other people like literally see you in the grocery store and think you're killing them. And like you just told them they couldn't have any candy. Like it's like that. You get used to it and you figure out what they're okay with and what they're not okay with and what hurts and what doesn't hurt. And like when they're just being little shits, and for lack of any better way to put that. And when they're like, they can be pushed and when they can't be pushed. And that's not something I ever tell like newbies or like people just learning to do. But like, for example, like with Hellcat, because she just likes to scream for fun. And it sounds like she's dying. And Clara did that when she was little too. If I let go of Hellcat's foot because she was playing and wiggling and she screamed like that and realized that every time she screamed like that, I got worried and thought I'd hurt her, it turns into a game. And then she'll do it just for fun. She won't do it because she's hurt. She'll do it because she's like, did you know that if I scream like this, she lets go and totally freaks out? And she'll be like, that's hilarious. It's not hilarious. Because then you skew your results later on and you don't really know when they're hurt versus when they're not hurt. And then Clara does this thing, she tries to resituate. She's most comfortable if I do her nails laying down, but she'll do them on a grooming table, but I'm not usually above her when I do them on a grooming table like that. I'm usually like closer to eye level, or I do them like you shoe a horse. Like I stand over her and actually pick up her back leg and like pull up her leg like you would if you were actually shoeing a horse or cleaning a horse's shoes. I clearly spent way too much time with horses as a kid. But yeah, so it's kind of one of those things too that like sometimes they'll move their feet around a lot because it's a new position and they don't necessarily like it. So if you go at them from a different direction, sometimes they're like, why are you doing it that way? Like Clara, I very rarely, if ever, do her nails from the front like that when she was like picking up her feet and being like, I don't like this. And so it just kind of depends on the dog. And like, I wouldn't recommend everybody like push it that far and or like push their dogs at all.
but like people that groom and or people that do like especially like I kind of specialize in grooming like asshole dogs. Like Abby is a good example. Emily can do like one nail at a time.
Maybe.
And like typically I can do all of Abby's nails in one sitting and she doesn't even move. She just lays there.
I have video proof.
We have like a party afterwards. It's really exciting. But like Emily can literally do one nail a day. And I'm like, whatever. How many nails are on a dog? Let's do all of them. So it kind of just depends, but part of that is
Can you give me the non-gummy?
right. Part of that is reading dogs, and part of it is that you get comfortable enough.
I'm also a nervous wreck because I have quicked her, I have the non-diamond group in, I've demoed my nails, my fingers and nails and her paw pads way too many times to count.
Whereas I'm like, whatever. I think I've picked 2 dogs with a Dremel like in my entire life, and I've been using a Dremel for like, I don't know, almost 2 decades.
And to be fair, I've only been using it for like maybe
I-
a year.
I think I've used nail clippers, but I have probably used nail clippers under 20 times in the last 15 years. I have them, I know how to use them, I can use them, but like, I don't ever use them. So, there's that. Did you eat all the wings?
No, I saved half.
Where are they at?
Huh?
Where are they at?
They're in the second shelf?
In the Tupperware?
No, it's the shelf above the puppy food.
Tupperware.
You
They're
see
in
it?
the, yeah, they're in the Tupperware.
Yeah, I told you they were in the Tupperware.
That's what I asked. I was like, are they in the Tupperware? And you're like, no, the puppy shelf. I'm like, okay. Well, that means they're in the Tupperware.
Oh, your bagel's in there.
Cool. Well, when your bagel comes out, we put my wings in. But yeah, so all the dogs are fine. They're just crazy pants.
I heard puppy shelf.
Yeah, I figured you heard something weird. Shouldn't eat that. I'll have to stop all these later.
And this is exactly why I can't talk to people on the phone. Cause like, I called Southwest today.
Oh, we can register our bags too.
What?
They have plates on them.
Super funny. Has a number on it?
It has a serial number and it's tied to this bag and it's tied to the person that registers it. Yeah.
Whoa.
Right? I'm like really excited.
Yeah, so like my coherency when I was on the phone with Southwest for like all of, I don't know, 5 minutes, shot, gone.
Also, I would like to say I got myself and Emily Christmas present.
Yay!
For Doggo Showland. And basically what happened is I was like, I'm getting Emily this for Christmas, and then I was like, shut up, I need one. That's pretty much exactly what happened. And so I have one too. And I got Zuka bags. And I'm just like so excited.
Would you like to open it and like?
I already opened it. I don't even play. I already opened this thing. But I'm like really excited because Emily can't pick up things
No.
like at all.
I have trouble picking
I
up.
don't know if anybody's
Catherine.
noticed that, but Emily can't pick up shit for shit. So like we were trying to figure out what she was gonna do for a grooming box for a dog show. And so she was looking at like these cases
Makeup.
and stuff, like makeup
cabinets.
boxes and cabinets and stuff, and I was just like, meh. And a lot of them were basically just like hella expensive, but like not really like high quality. And I was like, this is a problem. And so I was like, that's crap. And Clara, come here. Come see. Yes. You have a new collar. You love it.
Cool though.
Everybody's
Everybody's leashes came in today too. Okay, wait. So Clara got a collar because she's awesome sauce. These are so cool. You guys are gonna be like, shut the front door. I'm so excited. Like I can't even with how excited I am. Puppy leashes. Puppy leashes. Clara, come here. Come and see. She's like, "Baby, come on, Mama. Come on, get in. Come on. Come here. Can you sit? She's like, nope. Come on. Turn around. Sit. She has a pretty collar. So she got a leash, and all the puppies got leashes, so we could take a family photo. And my friend makes these leashes. My first mate on a boat that I lived on for 2 months, because I did that. It was weird, but I did it. It was really fun. She makes rope dog leashes. And so we got everybody puppy leashes because they're all boats. But she made them for us before Christmas because she's awesome. So we're gonna go take pictures. But all the leashes came in today, so I'm like super hyped. Emily's like, Zuka bag.
I'm just exploring Kelly's bag without her permission.
Okay,
Like, tell me later, whatever.
I already opened it.
Yeah, whatever.
But yeah, so everybody's leashes are here. They're like super nice. And they're even soft. Emily didn't get one because she didn't want one because she didn't know how it would feel.
And I have
If
issues
she has
with
issues
that.
with texture.
Ooh, yeah, I can't.
See, and I'm like in love. If anybody doesn't want their leash, I'll take it. But yeah, I have one leashes. You got a collar on you? She's like, yeah, I do. Can I have that back, please? Thank you.
No, there's another one.
Yeah, there's a bunch. There's like 5. And you have 2 wheels on yours. I mean 4 wheels. You got 2 sets of wheels. I only have 1 side wheel. And yours is like powder coated and mine is the frame. Yeah. I don't know. Because yours is the sport and mine is the not. Do you need to worry about your bagel?
My bagel is fine.
Okay.
Bagel is good.
They're color coded. Yeah, they're color coded. Yours are too. And we both have the same kind because I suck.
Huh?
We both have the sport, like the travel, not the pro kind. The pro kind are closed, not mesh. And I'm torn on whether or not I feel anything for that. So then also this is pretty cool. Watch this. So I can make a cover that's a different color. So we want to.
You're doing pasta pizza rolls that we have in the oven,
No, just those for now, because I can only eat so much today.
Okay, then we'll get the something.
We get really excited over really random things. Like bags. Really excited over bags.
Alright, you're in charge of washing that.
I can. Come see this. So I can take it off. And it buckles. And it elastics.
And it'll what?
It elastics on the front. And it buckles on the back. And then boom, it zips and it's bushing. And it has the side compartment.
Oh, I need.
That's cute.
Right. Is this carry-on size?
I don't know if mine's getting on that. Mine might be. Unsure. It shows me putting in an overhead compartment, but that doesn't mean anything.
Right.
The deal about it. Because mine's definitely bigger than yours. So I'm really.
And
got a couple of things. And then a hook. And then this one is like a bottle. So it's open. This one now is zipper because it is an ice chest. Right. So it's like a little bit different, but like that is pretty cool. This one also has a zipper pocket on that side, so that one. So yeah, it's called a bottle. And then this one. And this one. I got it. Because that's what I thought when I saw it.
And that goes in.
I can go in there.
And this is like a secret right
This, I don't
You
think
can't,
it should
yeah.
be super lean on, but so now.
Yeah.
Like,
Hover. Yeah.
we're just put it against a kennel or a wall. It's at least a seat. It's a seat height too. Yes. Then we don't need to bring chairs. We have bait bag. And then this, I can basically do pens, I can put business cards, we can put grooming things, we could put armbands, we could put all the things.
So that's just,
That goes on the back of the thing.
yeah, thing.
Right. And then this is pretty cool too, because it's like so random, I didn't know it had this. It's like so hard. There's a pocket up here, yo.
What?
There's a pocket up here.
What?
And then there's all of these freaky pockets.
Or-
Big, this is a big pocket. This is like a little, like cookie pocket. There's another pocket. This is an acting like expandable pocket.
All the compartments.
Oh my god. Right? Come on now.
What about
And this is what's holding it on the frame. And then
I've seen more zippers, so I'm like, what is going on?
this is a little baby pocket. This is another big pocket. This is another zipper pocket. Same thing on this side. And then this is another one of these things. And it's got a little baby pocket and another pocket. And then this comes off.
Uh-huh.
So it fits forward of the side. Cause that like, oh, look at that.
So I would need to get,
You need to get that if you want it, but you can also just get the seat by itself. You don't need to get the saddle guide with the seat.
yeah.
You can just have that. They also have a lunchbox. They have like binder organizer. That's all of them. But I thought that this would probably be the best like show combo because like I don't know if this would work like whatever. Like technically probably I would like put this on the best. This is also I don't know what it's going to, but this is what I thought at first that these would look. Maybe messy for me. I think it's so you can put them on either side and so they hook here. But you can't hook all the way down the side. But like,
Yep.
you can't hook them both like that.
Yeah.
So I mean, you can't do that and then also hook them to this. So they have to be unhooked to do that.
how big is it gonna be?
No.
Oh, okay.
No. Yeah.
Because
But like, I'm so excited because then like I'm just happy. And like, and then plus got all those.
yeah.
So like I'm packing my clothes plus all the doggo things in there.
Right.
We do, Mama. So yeah, these all fit stacked in this way. Wait, backwards. This way. So they'd be color coded.
Mm-hmm.
Get like 2 red ones.
Huh?
Yeah, you get 2 red ones, an orange one, a blue one, and a black one. A green one. And the green one is shorter
Mm-hmm.
than the other ones. But then you also have a little TSA one that could go like behind it and sit up. But look at how much Ethan was unpacked with.
Oh wow, there's so much more room in there
Right,
still.
so you could totally get like that sport pack or something too, or like I can just take these and put them in here too.
Mm-hmm.
Cause I could be
With
like,
some clothes on top of that.
I could do that. Like, see, look.
Yeah.
Cause I was like, OMG, where's all my stuff? Cause I opened it and it was like this all came in a bag,
Mm-hmm.
but this was all inside here.
Yeah.
And I was like, where's my saddlebags and stuff?
Yeah.
And then I was like, OMG, this is amazing. But yeah, so exciting. Love it. And I like really wanted it to be like TARDIS blue, but now that I have a cover, I could totally just make a TARDIS cover.
Yeah.
Like, so awesome. And then I can make Hellcat cover.
Right.
If we wanted to.
Yeah.
That'd be like stupid easy. Cause now that I have a cover, I can be like, that's cool, yeah guys, I got it. But yeah, yours I already put on the frame, but like the bag comes off, so technically you can buy any colored bag
Uh-huh.
and it'll go around the frame.
Oh,
You just
cool.
have to buy the right bag for the right frame.
Mm-hmm.
So we'd have to look, like I might not be able to change out the bag on this one to anything except for black or baby blue. But
Mm-hmm.
yours is the sport one, and I got that one because that's the one with all the crazy patterns. So like you could get a llama bag, or yours also fits the pet carrier.
Mm-hmm.
So like, yours you could just get the pet carrier,
Yeah.
and it will fit inside your frame,
Mm-hmm.
which is also awesome because like then it's hard, like it's got the frame around it and pet goes in the middle.
Mm-hmm.
Our guys would not fit in there though.
Hmm?
Our guys would not fit in there. Maybe sizes. Like if you laid it down like this,
Mm-hmm.
it would fit. They would probably be pretty unhappy this way though.
Mm-hmm.
But whatever.
Yeah.
Like at this age maybe they'd be okay. But not at like 8 years.
Yeah.
But, and it wouldn't fit on your seat for like our car.
Mm-hmm.
So cool. Technically in airport too, like if you have like soft side carrier, you put all your stuff in here. You could technically get your stuff out, put it in the soft side carrier, move the dog around.
Mm-hmm.
Just put the soft side carrier on top of this, get where you're going, and then swap it out so the dog will fit in under your seat.
Mm-hmm.
But then you can do like you know, put bow on it. Personal. Don't talk. But yeah.
Mm.
So yours also could come with light up wheels, but I don't think you want light up wheels.
Mm-hmm.
Whose job? I got regular ones. Well. Cool. Yeah, so this is the one I got. Oh, it is carry on. Yours should be then. I don't know. Still weird.
I scared everybody off with our adrenaline.
Why don't we hurt the doggos?
Check your wings, yo.
I just opened it. Oh. You're so weird.
Mm-hmm.
What?
What?
his potty yet? Hey, have you seen Sundog go to the potty yet?
He went earlier.
When?
Clara pinned him up,
Oh,
and then he. Is there straight hair behind here somewhere? Like white, I don't know. Let's check for my.
Not like a big one. You're talking about like a human one?
I don't know, maybe. What the heck is messing with my arm?
Really?
What?
It was like not bueno. Okay. See, oh, see, see how big you are.
Off his head on the plate.
Whatever. It's okay.
What?
No. No. There's not.
That's what happened. But I did know some food.
Yesterday was off.
You done, bud?
You put it back on for a second? Maybe he's got jujubes. Or maybe he eats a lot one day and then doesn't eat the next day.
I don't know, maybe he ate afterwards, cause we have food out. Or two or four.
One. Just pick something. I don't care.
So you're gonna laugh?
No, I'm not.
Yeah, you are. So I heat up the wings for lunch and then like, there's 4 things of ranch sauce, right? I'm like, I don't know which one each of us used. Oh well, too late. Whatever, it doesn't matter anymore. It's sizzling.
I know. That's the problem. I'm not touching that with my fingers. For more than a couple seconds. Stab it. Oh, wait. Why?
There's gonna go through it.
No.
I don't have a clean floor.
I'm gonna wait. I'm gonna like cool off some of my hands. Now they all feel concerned. I don't even know what all they're concerned about.
changing a chat photo to this picture.
Alright.
Park chat. Here we go.
Oh, come on. It wants me to not include all of them. How doofusy is that? That's not cool. It's cutting off my bones. What? That's not cool. No, it's not. Sounds so damn obstructive. Oh no, my big picture is the embark picture. My little picture is me getting mauled by buns. There we go. If you click on it, does it make it bigger?
Sweet. Oh.
If you don't want to know, because I'll take off.
Or this, and I just didn't want to like drag it all over the place. Fine, I'll log in again in a minute. I have one password so I can log in wherever. I have one password so I like log in wherever.
You just go exec.
And it autofill. So we're gonna log in on my phone. Alright, on my phone though. Before the chat. We can look at it later.
I'm curious now, so I'm looking at it now. Is laundry also just gonna like sit for 4 hours? Like I have no motivation to do it.
What?
The laundry, I'll do it tomorrow.
Oh, yeah.
It's not gonna run like that anyway.
Alright. What do you want, Mama? My dog is making piggy sounds at me.
Alright, what's up, Small? Stuff even.
I was explaining her to my mom the other day. I'm thinking if you post Amber's and it's public group, I'm going to see it. Well, no, but also like the algorithm is gonna make it pop up, especially for like family members. Especially if you mention their name, even if you don't tag them. Like, dude, your FBI agent just on top of it. Oop. I heard yours not letting me do it. But it's just kind of one of those things that's kind of interesting. Just technically.
This is where.
I'm never gonna use that properly, no one try. Don't say never. Mom, never doing it. But you can do it just to get that. Yeah.
Okay.
I don't know.
I'm like, did I really blink that fast? So they're like,
Nope. No.
that happened.
I don't know why. I don't know what's up. What's up, man?
Yeah, I saw that. I'm like, so mine's only the back patch.
Yours is the bag
And the
and and the patches.
Mm-hmm.
You got your patches. And so you have the same exact housing. Your bag is black with the Zuka in black like that, so it's in covery dye. And then yours is like a powder coat of black,
Okay.
not the glossy black.
Mm-hmm.
And honestly, if I would have known it was a glossy black, I might not have done it.
Why not? Why?
Because I don't like this glossy, it freaks me out.
So glossy.
So I just think it's trash.
Oh, how to pack. That's amazing.
I already know how to pack.
Huh?
I already know how to pack.
I don't.
I'm a packing ninja.
I don't do that.
I'm a packing master.
I don't know why. I need to pack all this stuff. I'm not gonna go in. Meanwhile, Karen's like, you need to learn. You need to try.
Right.
And then she watches me do it.
Just doesn't give a
She's like, stop it.
right. But
And then Joe's like, no, 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 keep going. An hour later, he's like, I'm done.
okay.
You're on your own.
Hey, Bogey. Sir.
Oh.
Hold on. Don't move. Bo, you coming all the way over?
Oh, sir. Did you give him my chicken?
I'm giving him a chicken here. Thanks, dude. That was a long distance recall for somebody your size. Everybody's like, what? You got a chicken? Okay. Laura's like, yeah. Where's my chicken? Oh, also, I gotta put this in my blender.
Mm-hmm.
Today.
over there. By the dogger station, yeah. I moved them all over there.
Because you needed some in the kitchen?
Yeah, because when the buns were over in the kitchen. Silver, 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 silver,
Good
silver,
cookie.
silver, silver,
Oh.
silver.
Oh. Here, I'm like so excited.
Huh?
I'm like so excited.
I still does good things. Wait. Still does this good thing.
Oh, you're a heavy bun, dude.
Daniel, take it home.
Can you grab some toys and stuff? Grab some toys and stuff. Daddy, 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 daddy. I'm just gonna put it down. Hey, Martini!
Teeny teeny.
He's got a donut.
Huh?
He's got a donut.
Oh. I was like, what is he doing in there?
He's a jerk.
Teeny Teeny.
Mini martini.
Martini. Your name is not Martini.
Teeny teeny.
He's like, no, no, baby.
Mini
I'm
martini.
not going in there with this food. I'm not.
Whoa.
Well, no, but I'm also not going in there. Like,
Yeah.
to have to wash my hands 3 times before I eat again.
What?
Bro, get out of the potty.
Yo, mini teeny. With your wine bottle. Mini teeny.
I don't know what to do with it.
I don't know.
This is more than normal for him.
He's almost always in there though.
He's such a delinquent.
Yeah.
He's such a good puppy, but he is so delinquent right now. I'm gonna take away the cool toys. Get it, Hatches, get it! Get it, Hatches! Get it, Hatches! Yeah, run, Hatches, run! Take it, bro! Hey! Get it, Hatches, get out of there!
Dude, you're heavy.
Alright, Rose.
Well, yeah. All 10 pounds of you is heavy.
Alright. Heathens.
Look, what? Just like
Get out of the potty. Go. Scooch. Scooch. Just because I keep the potty clean doesn't mean it's a place to play. Sirs and the lady. Yeah, look, play on here. This is awesome. Way cooler than a potty. Way cooler than a potty. Look at this. Look, all these cool things that are not in a potty. Look at them all. Look at them all. What?
You is all the things. It's all the things. You all the things. I know you guys are all the things. You is all the things. All things. You is all things.
Where'd you put the puppy bowl?
What?
What? The puppy bowl.
Up there?
Because that's where I put it in the middle of the night, so we don't have puppy kibble sacrifices in the middle of the night. You playing with that and bark, puppy?
Yes, I'll play with it. I'll play with the unblocked dog and then I'll fall. Patches, what are you doing? Ah, get in that side.
Do you want, this extra kibble over there too?
No, they don't need all of it.
I think there's gotta be at least like 4 cups of food in that.
Yeah, which means
Yeah.
they're fine.
Yeah, I had to refill it this morning.
Poor bun.
Oh, outside?
I spilled my Yoda. Oh, no, keep that.
Sleepovers. This is sleepovers. Yeah, it's a big sleepover. Where you go, little cat? Fun. You got the big hiccup. Come here, sleepovers. Good boy. More fun.
Ow, that's my foot that you just
Come
tried
here,
to
more
eat.
fun.
We also don't bite siblings' collars.
This is the boy.
Hello.
You using that sniffer? We do not do that. Eat this nut.
sniffer, aren't you?
Oh, boy,
Yeah,
you in
that's
the bed?
boy.
Here, look,
Guys,
this is a nummy.
boy.
This is for numbing on. Yes, it is.
More fun.
This is for numbing, not my foot.
Where are you going? Where are you going, bud?
Alright, stop. You're sensing weakness, but there is no weakness.
What?
Your weakness sensor is broken. Ow. A little weaker. Stop trying to eat my hands. Stop trying to eat me. I'm not a food group. Melon wall and fake German Shepherd. We're just gonna start calling you some, I don't know. It comes in black and tan and psycho. What comes in black, tan, and psycho?
Hellcat.
Mm-hmm.
Wee.
No,
Fake German
sir,
Shepherd.
melon wall.
Melon wall. Gotcha. You are a fake melon wall.
You are a wall of melons. Excuse me, Satan children. Hi. That's not necessary. You, crazy town. What are you doing?
What was that?
Clara.
Oh.
Oh, I'm gonna let you go, bro. Ready? Ready? Hatches. My man, come on, Hatches.
Why are you all wet, dude? See? That's
Yeah, I
all.
know. His back's been all wet. Come on, Hatches. Good boy. Good.
Where, did you lay in the water or something?
Something, or got mauled by a sibling.
That badly?
It's entirely possible. Okay, this is gonna go that way.
Can you stop throwing
No,
stuff?
I must throw things. No, no, you don't. Oh, no, you don't. Pirate doggos. Why are you so nibbly? You're not gonna win that fight. Don't you do it either. What are you doing? Nibbles. Why are we nibbling? Nuh-uh, that's rude. We don't nibble like that. That's super rude. You, don't nibble me. You. Friday McFighter pants. Bogey, don't do it. I'll pick you up. Sir. Why are we numbing me? Why? Why are we numbing me? I am not a numb. You are wet. I am not
numb. Do you need a redirection of numbing? You can numb him. Oh, you find my toy?
Woo! What up, Mama? She gonna fly in here. Hi, buddy boy. How's my war barn? You got that, Merlot? Yes. You, ma'am, we've had this talk before?
Let me get this plastic part off.
Attacker! Get the mom!
Fine, take it. Go. Go on. If you pull that off, tell me about it.
Huh?
She's, Bro, come on.
What?
What are you doing, dude? Are you stuck?
Come on, Woodbine. It's the bottle.
That's not a play place, Hatches. Stop acting like a freaky possum. Good job, Joe. Chewing a chew toy. That's a good boy. Come on. Stratus, that was very nice. However, thank you. Let's not play in the potty, please.
You. How are you? Now. Oh, are you like a Yoda too? You are also Yoda. There's a Yoda puppy. Yoda puppy. Are you Yoda? They're waiting for my ears, they be flops. Don't hold on to your brother like that. You guys are cray. Thank you. Thank you.
There's no one, Mom. Mom loves this bottle thing. We love this bottle thing too. This is great. We love it. There's no chewing it. We're gonna numb it. You get it? You got donut stuck on your face, bro. Boop. What are you doing there? Boop. Boop.
Oh. Don't you?
She's like chewing on their face and then she like licks them.
She's like that. No, just stop that. Just stop all of that. Hatches, she's gonna nail you, bro. What's up, Mama Dog?
Yeah, Warbun was like going to town on her tail.
Yeah, I don't think she cares about that. I think it's when she thinks they're gonna nurse, or if they're biting like her front legs.
He went for her tail and then her leg.
She doesn't mind them chewing on her face or her ears most of the time. Apparently, I've been proven wrong.
Yeah, and
Even though I think she's still like, she's.
Are you weird? Are you like, I play weird?
yeah,
We
and
all
then
play weird. We are Tamaskans. We all
and then
play
Warbun
like
was like,
right?
and pulling chunks of fur off of her, and then she's like,
Whatever.
stop it, and then he's like,
No.
You just hit Stratus in the face with that.
yeah, and then she like just got up and punched
Yeah,
him.
like right now, like Hatches, Stratus was doing this before, but Hatches is like chewing on her nails, and she's like, why? Can't you do something else? Can you have my phone? Hopefully I don't like stop them. I think there's gonna be a poop.
Yup.
So she's like, I gotta go by. See you later.
Toodles. I think that has to get refilled.
Yeah, it probably does. But I didn't want to, they get it so dirty that I didn't want to get it like all crazy.
Mhm. Yeah, I think this evening when you came home, it was like double of that.
It was, and I dumped some of it out just to get the gulp out of it.
Oh, okay.
But they drank a lot too, though, because I didn't dump that much out. But I definitely dumped some out. Just trying to check you, bro. Trying to
He's
check
like,
your
I'm
butt.
good, I'm good.
Get your little smelly butt away from me. What are you doing, sir? Biting you. I'm definitely biting you. Oh my god, so much things. Biting you. I'm definitely biting you. Boop. You guys want to see the talking crazy reindeer again? Clara's like, oh, I'm gonna sniff your butt, you know?
He's like, I don't want it. He's like, I'm a big fucker, I can do
Okay,
myself.
are we gonna do this? I don't need your help, no, get off of me!
Basically. He's like, I'm gonna go hide. He's like, you can't get me now, Mom.
You ready, Natchez?
I was like, you gonna come out, dude? 'Cause I'm gonna get you.
Hey, Bugs. He's like, I'm going back in this kennel! You can't get me!
She's like, and she's like, little do you know, but I can.
Oh my god, no, look at this shit. Travis is...
What?
Seawolf was like, it's my turn! I run after you! Alright, you guys, you ready? Look, watch this.
Mom, can you leave him alone?
Nope, apparently she's really gotta check him, and he's like, I'm not having this. Just stay under there. This is like the great escape or something.
There's a token right here.
Hey, Hatches, you ready? I'm gonna turn it on. It's about to get even crazier in this place. Oh, snap. Oh, this is a different reaction than the other day. We're just gonna run off with it. Give us those maracas!
Teeny. Mini Martini.
Ready?
I'll leave it. He's fine. Thank you.
I like love that they don't care, but also like
Is this the first time they've had the wine bottle?
no. So it's been a while. But they like it. But it can't go in the dryer with the squeaker, so well maybe it could, but I don't think it can.
Mama, you don't fit in there.
Oh shit.
hey. That's a bit much, Crazy Town.
You mess with her,
She's like, what are you doing? Come on, Hellcat. Hellcat. Come on out,
We're gonna
Hellcat.
hang out here.
You gonna do it again? He's like, what? Not afraid. There's zero fear. Attack! Let's take it down! Give me that. Hey.
More fun!
Give me the maracas! Look, he can get out. You can't. He's like watching it now. They care about nothing.
You have other
Hey. Other. Yeah, I've got RTV2, I've got BB8, I've got the Banshee from Avatar, and we've got the Howley thing.
Well, they don't care about the hobby thing.
Well, I think the deal is like if they're going through a fear stage, they probably will. Which is why I'm trying to like space them out. Like we did that one, and then we did it the other day. And so like they probably won't. I probably won't bring that one out again for a while, if ever. And then we tried the wolf one, but we did it long before a week ago, or longer than a week ago.
Do you think they're gonna go through that water tonight?
I'm gonna probably change it tonight, just so I don't have to worry about it tomorrow morning.
Yeah.
But I figured I'd change it when I got up. Excusez-moi. Hello. Bonjour. What are you doing, Hitchback? I am going to check your face. Thank you, sir. Look at those little demon teeth! Ah, demons. Demons, who summoned you? Who called your name 3 times and summoned you?
What are you doing?
Are we calmer? Oh, dude, I was wondering how I got this on my chin, and now I know how. This one of them just totally scratched it again.
Sea wolf?
Oh, yeah.
Basically is what happened.
Ouch.
What is Jerk doing under there?
Chewing a watermelon.
Oh, okay.
He got it away from Clara, and he's hiding from the other.
I was like, he's chewing something, but it can't be the bed. I just didn't know what he was chewing on.
And I actually am really happy that they can fit under that right now, because I think it's good for them to go under something like that.
Because like Bowie kept going under there to get away
And I
from
think
Clara.
technically this would actually fit in the kennel, but like, I don't want to do that yet. But I think it will actually fit in that kennel.
It should, but I think getting it in and out is going to be a
Well, I'm not
huge
necessarily going to take it in and out a lot, but I was thinking that like, we might, hey, don't you dare destroy that bun. Yes, you, ma'am, not destroy this bun. Don't step on your children. Good job, buddy. Pancake bun. Laura's like gonna kill it. That bun shall die here. Very soon, that bun shall die. Here. Attack 'em all. Attack 'em all.
You can't get up, poor bun? Look at him.
You stuck, buddy? Look at this mom pile. Mom pile.
Well, and then Stratus is like chewing on his legs, so he's like, I
Mom
can
pile. What are you guys doing? Mom pile. She says no, bro. What? You already told me no. OMG. What do you mean no? What's a no mean? That's a no, bro. She's saying no. What you doing, buddy? What do you have? I got a moose. I love it. You go by mom with my moose? Mom, I have a moose. Hi, mom. What's up, little one? I'm like mom. I sleep like mom. I lay by mom. I'm awesome like mom. I stare at you like mom. You look like a baby Clara. He's like, that's good, I am a baby Clara. He looks a lot like she did.
councilman?
You didn't get it.
I don't think I was fast enough. No, I was not fast enough.
That's what I was like, dude.
I mean,
You get it?
I was close. No,
Yeah.
like, but his back feet are still in the air. Like, I hit it technically in time, but it didn't start.
Yeah,
You
there's
know
a
what I
lag.
mean? Like, it didn't start instantly, so that was
That's
a
freaking amazing.
She gonna catch you, yo.
Well, I told her she was gonna get you. You really shouldn't bite her butt. I really am surprised that you didn't get a lot more anger with that.
Those little teeth right there, they're sharp. They hurt. Nobody wants you to bite them.
She's like, calm down, you
Well,
two.
he's literally like, I'm not gonna say what he was biting because this is YouTube and I try and be semi-family friendly, but like, I would have been a lot leaner. It wouldn't have been good. Hey, sir. Ow, with that, you could draw blood with those.
Vampire. Oh, vampire bun.
You're my favorite customer. Excuse you.
Travis, don't do it, but. Good boy. Get it?
Don't do this now, Ginger.
I already did this turn.
I know, but I already got a picture. Excuse you, Bogey.
We here. Hellcat like, I just want.
So they brought me toy offerings. Now I just hang out.
Are you watching this?
Yes. I think again I didn't really get enough of it.
That was horrible though.
Yeah, it was. It was pretty. I mean, like, and obviously it's on YouTube. It's just not as like high quality. Thing.
And then it's a different angle completely.
Could you not take that in there? Wouldn't take it with me.
Get out of this box, sir. Come on. Get out of there. Get out.
Folks. Alright, it's midnight. I'm gonna sleep tonight.
Let's see here.
Yeah. Oh shit.
You're on that one.
No.
All the stocks. start praying. Alright guys, it's nighttime. Sleepy time evens. Alright guys. Good night, YouTube. Huh?
You always have a heater on just in case.
What temperature is it?
I thought
I would say we're probably okay.
okay.
If it's 72 now,
Yeah.
I mean, like, it's not gonna, so this is my thing. Even if it drops down really cold, it's not gonna just get to like 64.
Yeah.
So, like, they'd be fine.
Mhm.
I hate to say you or me are gonna wake up in the middle of the night going, why is it so freaking cold, before they do.
Yeah.
So. Yeah, I'd say we're probably okay.
It's at 74, so.
Yeah, and I'm not even, turning off their fan. I don't, well, I'll turn off